Oh, we're getting started soon. Hit that like. And almost there. Instagram is live. All right. Getting close. Yes. Yes. We got some soundage. We got some stuff. We got some happenings. If only I could get the audio on my other thing to work. Nope. 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 For whatever reason. Just being weird. Just happens. Hi. Welcome to the show, everybody. How are you? Good to see you. Hello. Oh, crap. I forgot to open up my chat window so I can see what you guys are up to. Which is lovely. I have no doubt. Hi, there you are. Finally. All right. Let's yeah, absolutely. Let's get this happening. Hear that Trump just violated his gag order in Wisconsin. Absolutely. There's several ways that he violated the gag order.
Here I am like an idiot.
Because he's a moron, and I'm here for it. I'm excited about it. We've got coming up in just a moment. He is live in Michigan. This is his second rally. He took my advice. He's jamming in 2 a day. He did one earlier, and it was not pretty. I will show you a couple of clips from that, but first we will say hi to the chat room. And hello, by the way, hi, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Nice to see all of you here today, and also Shitter. If you're watching on Shitter, I don't know what's wrong with you. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I don't know how much longer Shitter will be in and of this world. Also, let me jump in here and see, where is it? There it is. Politics. The Roman Senate is the greatest political body that money can buy. Okay, so couple of things. One is, let's grab that one. Let's grab this one. Okay. Uh, so we don't. None of us know what this is. We'll find out, I guess, perhaps later. But I happen to love that the Biden Harris Twitter is putting this up. This is the most recent weird gaffe from the earlier one. This one is, where is this? It turns. Why is it quiet? What is happening here? What's going on? Browser, what are you doing? Why am I not hearing audio from that? It's very strange, but I will fix it. I don't care. Hold on. I'll fix it in the chat room. 1 second. Sometimes there's a little thing about audio on that browser when it's not coming from the U and the tube, which is a very curious little thing. So sometimes I have to throw it into this guy because it's the thing, and then throw it in here and paste this and go there. And I think we might be able to hear it. They'll see if they can hear it here.
But it's even more becocked.
Is he saying fakakta? Is that what he's? Is this him screwing up the word fakakta? This fakakta nonsense with the fakakta? It's even more becocked.
A smaller version, but it's even more becocked. Okay.
Totally, it is. I couldn't agree more. That it is even more becocked. This is we're definitely gonna have to add that one to our repertoire of
Here I am like an idiot
of Trump blather. Also on this one on the internet now, have to grab this guy. This was this one not so much a gaffe as a wake up call to our uncommitted friends. You know who you are. I would like to put this out there to all the people who are talking about the Genocide Joe and how Democrats aren't doing enough because I guess building a pier to bring food aid and medicine to Palestinians in the middle of this and trying to curtail a sovereign country in the case of Italy, listen to me, Israel from doing their shit. That's terrible. This is preferable. So here's what the uncommitted are voting for this fall. I would like to show you. Not the guy who just spent U.S. tax dollars to build a pier to deliver food and medicine to Palestinians in the middle of all this stuff. No, what they want is this guy. This guy is selling them on. This is directly. Here we go. Oh boy.
You have to get the job done. It's a horrible job to do, but they have to.
But oh, by the way, he's talking about Israel. I'd like to be abundantly clear that he's talking about Israel in this, when on October 7th.
Respond when they do when there's an attack, a sneak attack like on October 7th. That's
right. Okay. When there's a sneak attack like on October 7th, what should the response be? What would he, as the president of the United States, suggest Israel do? Would it be, hey, maybe ceasefire, work on a hostage negotiation, deal with other countries, work through intermediaries to try and talk the whole thing down and mitigate this, and so more damage isn't done and all this other stuff? Is it that? No. This is what the uncommitteds would prefer.
so violent and such hatred. You have to clean it out. You have to clean out the cancer, and you have to
clean it out. You have to clean out the cancer. But I'm sure you have to take your time and be careful with it. Yes, you gotta be careful. You don't want to do anything too rash.
You have to clean out the cancer, and you have to let them do their job. And frankly, it has to be done fast because this is
right. Fast. Yes, fast. That's I think when there's civilians around, I think the key to a military operation when there are a lot of civilians around is speed. I think that should be your primary objective. Wouldn't you agree, uncommitteds out there? Wouldn't you agree, Genocide Joe #crowd? Wouldn't you agree that this is preferable, certainly preferable to building a pier and trying to give food and medicine to Palestinians while this is going on, while a sovereign country that we have no direct control over, that the only option we would have is to allow their citizens to get killed, which is just fucking nuts, by Hezbollah or Iranian missiles, which is absurd. So if building a pier and supplying food and medicine and trying to mitigate this thing and work through proxies and all that stuff, that's too complicated. It's super simple. Pants Israel so that they have no Iron Dome, so that when Iran or Hezbollah launches stuff, more civilians die, so we can have we can even it out in theory, and then don't bring in food aid and don't bring in medicine. Clean it out like a cancer as quickly as possible. That's the plan. Let me run that by you again.
But that's so violent and such hatred. You have to clean it out. You have to clean out the cancer, and you have to let them do their job. And frankly, it has to be done fast because this is not sustainable for anybody. The job.
That's right. You got to do it fast. Yeah, indiscriminate. I mean, the bombing, which apparently people are convinced is going on. It isn't indiscriminate enough for this motherfucker. Yeah, kill everybody. Ask questions later. That's what the uncommitteds are fighting for. They'll put pressure on Biden, the guy who hung up on Netanyahu in fucking December and is put sanctions on the settlers in the West Bank and is providing food and medicine and protection to the Palestinians and working with the Egyptians and the Qataris and all these fucking weirdos in the area, trying to balance this situation and save as many civilian lives as is possible in this process. No, fuck that guy. Let's pretend we'll back this dude who originally said you have to deal with the problem, and now he's saying you have to clean out the cancer quickly and very powerfully. So just putting that in there, ladies and gentlemen. That's who these folks are fucking with. I'm just saying. They're like, I'm good with that dude and how he handles it. And we're gonna I'm gonna pretend I'm gonna flip a fucking coin. It's either the guy who's trying to balance all this shit out and trying to keep as many civilians from getting killed as fucking possible in this really untenable situation in an ongoing war that's been going on for thousands of fucking years. Fuck that guy. Let's pretend or say or actually back the dude who's like, nah, it's the Palestinians, the Gazan Strip, it's a cancer. It's a fucking, the whole place is a tumor. He's not even dicking around with this. And by the way, I'd also like to add on the whole thing about illegals and people coming into the country and they're rapists, murderers, they're bringing drugs and crime. And in 2016, he was saying, and some of them I assume are good people. He's dropped the some of them I assume are good people. That's gone. He no longer says that. So at this point, we're not assuming any of them are good. And basically opening up on these crowds with howitzers is how this motherfucker thinks we should deal with immigration. But tell me again how you're like, give me the lesser of two evils sales pitch. Yeah, Trump Tower Gaza opens in 2026. You're absolutely fucking right. They bulldozed that place and he's opening a fucking hotel. And Netanyahu's his fucking business partner. I heard Susan Sarandon saying there were no rapes or murders on October 7th. Well, no, that's because she believes that rape is a valid weapon of war. I mean, if you can't kill them all, if the Hamas charter to get rid of all the Jews doesn't work by murder, you can always rape them out of existence. Why not? That's Susan Sarandon. That's Jill Stein. That's what that crowd is for. Yeah. But, 6 of one, half dozen of another. It's always a juggle. Other than that, I have no opinion. But we will save Trump's little blah, blah, blah for later on. And he is live-ish at this fucking Michigan rally. So I take you now to Trump in Michigan. This is NTD's coverage.
Oh, thank you
Wow. Oh, I didn't realize he was at Gettysburg. Wow.
very much. Hello, Michigan. Hello, Michigan. It's great to be back in this beautiful state with thousands of proud, hardworking, God-fearing American patriots, which is what you are.
Which is what you are. Every one of you is really afraid of God. And it's nice to be back out here in a private airfield because I don't have to pay for the security that the city would require if I was using actual facilities in the place. So he's yet again at one of these places where he can land his fucking plane and just do the thing right on the grass near the plane and then get back on the plane and fuck off. And all you got to do is suck up to these dickheads who hold on, I'm sorry if he's a little bit loud. Suck up to these dickheads who own the private airfield that he lands at, like another rich dickhead golf buddy of his.
With your help, we're going to win Michigan this November. We're going to elect Mike Rogers to the U.S. Senate.
Nope.
And we're going to defeat crooked Joe Biden, and we're going to make America great again.
Well, I mean, America's doing pretty well without you, actually. I got to say, it's getting much closer to, referential the actual public.
Last week, we saw numbers showing clearly that the economy is crashing, with GDP growing and plunging and all over the place.
It's growing, it's plunging, it's, we don't know the GDP's going up and down and up again. We don't know.
Nobody knows what's happening, especially Biden.
Well, then obviously he wouldn't know if it was going up or down, and which one, just real quick, he doesn't know, obviously, and the rest of us don't know because we're stupid, but please tell us which one is good. Is plunging good, or is up good, or should...
The numbers should skyrocket downward.
Okay, all right, well, I'm glad we cleared that up.
But GDP growth was plunging by more than 50% in the first quarter this year.
To only up 1.98%.
Nobody's seen anything like that for a long time.
Well, I would like, can I bring you back to the last year of your presidency, which I gotta say, in terms of GDP, really the worst.
We now have a thing called stagflation. Does anyone know what that means?
No, please tell us. Also, no, we don't.
It's not good. It's worse.
Well, of course it's not good. It couldn't possibly be, but what is it, though?
Worse than deflation, and it's worse than inflation.
It's worse than deflation, and it's worse than inflation. It's stagflation. It's buckflation.
Stagflation is the worst, and that's what we're in right now.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible. What is it again? Tell us what it is. Tell us what stagflation is. I know it's in the teleprompter, but explain to everybody. I'm sure he's going to. I'm sure. My bad. I'm assuming he'll leave out the deal. Tell us all about stagflation.
Which spells the death of the American dream, and that doesn't even include some of the horrible numbers we're seeing flowing in from poor and crime-ridden countries right across our southern border.
Really? They're bringing hold on. They're bringing their economy with them? You do realize there's like the number of available workers to jobs is at the lowest it's ever been. It's 1.38. It's it's the worst it's been in a long time, and there aren't enough workers for the jobs that are opening. See, what you'd kind of want, if you wanted a little bit of maneuverability for a business, you'd want 2-3 workers available for every slot you have to fill. But right now we're at 1.38. That's not good. That's not good. that's pretty close to full employment.
They're coming in by the millions.
No, he did not say stagnation. He said stagflation, which is a stagnant economy and inflation. This is what that means. He doesn't know that. He just knows that the word sounds bad. And by the way, we also don't have that.
That's why this November,
the Fed literally said today he doesn't see anything like stagflation. They asked him about it.
People of Michigan are going to tell crooked Joe Biden, Biden, you're fired. Get out of here.
I thought that was your line. Really? You're going to leave that up to the people of Michigan? You mean like they did with you last time? Huh.
The worst president in our history. There's never been anybody like him.
I thought he was just like Jimmy Carter. Remember when we were told he's exactly Jimmy Carter all over again? But these are the same people who said that you were Reagan, and you're like, nah, I'm Abe Lincoln without the bullshit about freeing the slaves.
In the past 3 years, the average Michigan family has lost $20,000 or $30,000. Think of this. $20,000 to $30,000 thanks to the Biden inflation tax. We have a new term. It's called a new tax.
He sold this at the one earlier today too. It's called inflation tax. They think this is since Biden isn't raising taxes on people, and they can't say the Democrats always want to raise taxes on the people who are generally at his rallies. None of their taxes are going up. They just filed their taxes. They know this. So you can't say there's a tax on them because they're like, nah, it's actually down a little bit, honestly. And if we had the child tax credit, I'd probably be doing even better, right? So they made up this term. This is like migrant crime took a shit, so now it's inflation tax.
It's called inflation tax.
Right. Yeah, that'll work. Keep at it, buddy.
We call it the Biden inflation tax.
Well, you shouldn't. I mean, yeah, obviously. BIF. B-I-F. Biden inflation. No, BIT. I was trying to go for inflation. Oh, God. Because Biff is his nickname. BIT. That's why I was looking at him going, never mind.
What's happened? Record kinds of inflation.
Sorry, I can't concentrate. Record kinds of inflation. Deflation, inflation, stagflation, all setting records, even though they are contradictory and don't happen at the same time.
And his price hikes are continuing to drain nearly $1,000 from a typical family.
The typical family.
Each month loses $1,000 on other different taxes.
No, dummy. Allegedly, they lose it on the cost of things going up. The price of eggs, eggs cost 500 times what they used to or something.
That's what he's done to you.
You want to go back and have another run at it? Or?
And by the way, for the auto workers, we'll talk about it later. Your cars are all going to be made in China. Congratulations. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
No, they're not. Why would they be made there? Why? I mean, again, the reason he says electric cars will be made in China is because two things. One, BYD is the biggest electric car manufacturer in the world because they just make cars and then they pretend to sell them and then they park them in a fucking field and then they tell the world they're selling all the electric cars that are existing in the world where they're just rotting. Secondly, Tesla sells way more electric cars in China that are made in China there than it does here. There are more Teslas sold in China than are made and sold here. That's where he kind of gets this number from. But the electric cars that are made by the big three are made here in the United States. As a matter of fact, there are a ton of other, like Kia and Hyundai. They make electric cars here in the United States. This all boils down to he thinks, and by the way, hit that like, let everybody know we're here. It's Hal Sparks Megaworldwide, and I'm glad you're here. It's the main issue with him is that he believes that our auto workers are too stupid to assemble electric cars. Just saying. Yes, Honda as well.
Chicken is up 24%, baby.
Chicken is up 24%. Avian flu, anybody? Let me guess, he mentions eggs as well.
Baby food is up 30%.
Baby food is up 30%. You mean from when the child tax credit was in existence? Baby food. Just baby food? Just food for babies? Up from what? The food that was poisoned and that we had to fix? And therefore it's more expensive to make sure it's not poisonous or something? Up 30%. I mean, I don't even know why you'd have a baby right now. It's too expensive to feed the fucker.
Eggs are up 50%.
Eggs are up 50% from 1973.
Gasoline is up 54%.
Gasoline is up 54%. And I presume what he means is from COVID when no one was driving anywhere.
Airfares are up 33%, and the 30-year mortgage rate just hit 7.6%. When I left, it was 2.6%.
Right, but we had 0%. Like the banks were getting money for what, 0.25%, like a quarter basis point above zero, which is unsustainable and nuts. And one of the reasons why the debt just flew off the shelves. So that's why everybody was getting in so much debt, because it's basically free money, which is ridiculous.
We had no inflation.
Yes, we had an economic collapse caused by a pandemic.
Everything was so good.
It was so good, especially those hundreds of thousands of stupid Americans doing their duty and dying like they're supposed to.
Bidenomics is flat out economic.
It is flout out. I agree. It's that, you know, say what you will, but it is flout out, flabbed out. What?
Everything was so good. Bidenomics is flat out economic warfare and welfare.
It's both. It's warfare and welfare, and it's flout out. Probably should have stopped at just one rally.
On the American middle class and low-income people, it's a disaster. If Joe Biden wins this election, the middle class loses. But if Trump wins, the middle class wins. People of low income will start their journey toward the American dream. Michigan wins and America wins. That's what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen. It didn't happen during your presidency, but it's this time totally flout out. Look at all the fire Biden signs, because they handed them out because that's in the teleprompter and that's the speech and whatever. In the first one, he kind of rambled a bunch. And this one, he's sticking to the teleprompter so far.
That's what's going to happen.
That is totally what's going to happen.
Just days ago, Crooked Joe vowed to impose the largest tax in the history of America.
The largest tax in the history? You mean by letting yours expire? The giant hole you blew in the fucking deficit?
Going to be the biggest tax hike in the history of America.
Oh, you mean making billion-dollar companies pay a minimum tax of 15% as opposed to 8 or 0?
Biden said the Trump tax cuts are, quote, going to expire, and I'm not going to renew them if I'm reelected.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Good.
He had no idea what the hell he was saying, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, then I guess you don't have to worry about it. I guess they'll just stay. Yeah? He doesn't know what's going on. Maybe somebody will put it in front of him. He'll just sign it, right?
That means under Biden, a single individual earning $75,000 a year will see an almost $2,000 tax hike, and a family of 4 earning $165,000. Think of this. We'll see close to $3,000 in tax hikes over and above what you're paying right now.
No. Your tax cut gets swapped out. And by the way, the one for people in like regular individuals, the part of the Trump tax cut for individuals, not corporations, already expired.
But instead of a Biden middle-class tax increase, I will deliver a Trump middle-class tax cut, the likes of which you've never seen before.
Well, if you've never seen it before, it clearly wasn't in your tax cut, your original one. If you haven't seen it before, why didn't you do it last time, you dumb motherfucker? Look at his face. I'm going to deliver a tax cut for all you poor sucks out there.
And I already gave you the largest tax cut in the history of our country.
And look what you did. You voted me out last time, you bastards. I'm not even sure I want to. Fuck you.
Larger than the Reagan tax cuts many years ago. You got the largest tax cuts in history. On day one, we will...
No, they didn't. Not those people.
We'll throw out Bidenomics, and we will reinstate a thing called Meganomics. I'll terminate...
Label, 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 also label, hat label, labeling, label.
Joe Biden's radical plan to kill Michigan's economy by repealing his insane electric vehicle mandate. Is that the craziest thing? Is that the craziest thing?
No, it really isn't, especially if you want to live off the grid. Because again, anybody can get access to sunlight in theory, and therefore you could live off the grid and charge your car. If you have a big enough battery set up in your house, you could run the house just based on sunlight. As especially as the technology gets better, but you can't make your own gasoline.
Everybody's going to have an electric vehicle. By 2030, he wants everyone to have an electric vehicle.
No, well, that'd be nice, but no, that's not what it is. It's about like I think 60% of cars sold should be electric at that point. That's the goal that they're heading towards, so that we don't have to deal with the resource drain that is oil and gas in the United States that we've always subsidized.
There's a problem. They're very expensive and they don't go far.
Well, talk to Elon Musk. It's his fucking fault.
Not going far is not good. Also,
Thank you. Thanks very much. 235 to 300 miles on the average now. That's not good.
So they're not going to be made in Michigan. They're going to be made in China.
Why?
Every single one.
Why? Why would that be? Why would they be made in China? Based on what?
Going to be made in China.
Okay, well, since you said so, I guess it's got to be true.
United Auto Workers, I just want to tell you, the head of the United Auto Workers has really let you down. To agree with that whole situation that they just did, that's so.
Yeah, you can't assemble electric cars. You're a bunch of stupid grease monkeys.
Good for China, and it's so bad for Michigan. But I'm going to turn it around. We're bringing the car industry back to Michigan. We're going to put tariffs on foreign cars, and we're bringing the car industry. We're putting tariffs on foreign cars. We're bringing the car industry back to Michigan. The Biden.
Yeah, why didn't you? By the way, this asshole was against the bailout. Let's be abundantly clear, for the big three. So fuck off right there. He also went to a scab shop during the auto workers strike. And thirdly, if you gave a shit now, why didn't you give a shit when you were in office?
Electric vehicle mandate will be an economic bloodbath. You know, they like to use that word bloodbath now.
No, you do.
When I said it, it was perfectly stated. They make it sound bad, but it will be an economic bloodbath. Crooked Joe.
Okay, this is him still trying to put that toothpaste back in the tube.
Will rip out your auto jobs and send them immediately to China, who, by the way, you know, he's a Manchurian candidate. He makes a lot of money from China. They give him.
For the record, everyone, Trump had a mystery bank account in China that never had more than, I think, $800,000 in it at any given time. I think it was 768 was the most that it had ever had in it. And when he was president in his first year in office, suddenly it had $17.2 million in it. He took out 15 in cash in one night, and then he killed TPP, which is, of course, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which was meant to be a bulwark against Chinese hegemony in infrastructure and industrialization of the South China Seas, like everybody around there. So it was to push back on them and let these other countries have a chance. He killed it so that they could get a toehold and keep it.
A lot of money. What's that all about?
I don't know. You'd think you'd know by now. Ask Comer. That's the thing, because it certainly isn't about giving China an edge, because they're fucked right now.
Under the Trump administration, we're going to take jobs out of China and bring jobs back to Michigan. We're going to keep Chinese cars the hell out of America. We don't want them.
Yeah, that's already happened.
We don't want Chinese cars.
No, we don't want. Which ones? Which ones are you talking about? Name one. Name a Chinese car. Just one company. Just talk about them. Oh, fuck that car thing. Those guys. That company. No, they don't even know. BYD. You're not even gonna pull that up. Burn your driveway. I mean, there's plenty of slams to be made.
Joe Biden wants to take.
Yeah, by the way, he'll also keep Russian cell phones out of everywhere except the White House.
Your gasoline-powered cars and trucks, all about within 6 years, he wants to make them electric. It doesn't work. You know, if you want an electric car, I think it's great. I'm all for it. But
yeah, but they don't go far, and they're too expensive, and you can't get them, and nobody wants them, and they're all made in China. Why are you for them? Why would you support such a terrible, terrible thing?
if you want a gasoline combustion, if you want to have a hybrid, whatever the hell you...
Hybrid. Yeah, that's the ones that are made out of sourdough. VW, a hybrid. Sure. Yeah, it's hemp seed. It's hemp seed bread. It's yeah, it runs on CBD oil, and everybody behind you is like they're in a Cheech and Chong movie. Hybrid.
You want, you should be able to get.
Yeah, whatever, except not. Unless we don't want them built here. You should, whatever you want, you should be able to get. Unless it's a Chinese car, in which case, fuck you.
Everything will go to very expensive electric vehicles, which don't go, they just have such problems. But they have one problem that is insurmountable. If I want to drive from beautiful Michigan, let's say to Mar-a-Lago.
Why would you do that?
What do I have to do? Stop about 7 times? It's ridiculous.
No, you have to stop the same number of times you do for a gas car. You just have, it'll take about 45 minutes to recharge. And it'll be practically free. There'll be hundreds of dollars in gas in a gas vehicle, and it will be about under $20, I think, in an electric vehicle for the whole trip. It'll also be silent and have pickup that's, 0 to 60 in a second and a half or some shit.
The whole thing is ridiculous. And they want
to... By the way, has this motherfucker ever been in an electric car as a passenger? I know he can't drive. I don't know why he's not for, like, Teslas and the auto drive, because he can't.
Turn army tanks all electric. So that as we go into enemy territory, shooting and shooting and killing and shooting and taking it over.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's they shooting and killing and killing and shooting and taking it over. That's what tanks are for. Sure. Also, big diesel engines, so you can hear them coming a long way away. Can you imagine a silent electric tank? Think about that for a second. Real quick. Think about also the trucks or the vehicles that come up behind them that are basically like armored robots that roll up with like a platter battery for the fucking thing, swap one out and throw another one in, and it can go another 500 miles silently. Can you imagine how fucking terrifying? Instead of brap up, brap, 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 brap. I don't want to, guys, listen carefully. Does that sound like 100 tanks to you, or 2? I can't tell the difference because it's all one big giant brabbity brabbity. Anybody? It's just like, instead of, hey, what was that whirring sound last night? Guys? Shit, everyone is dead. How this happened?
We keep their air nice and clean, right? Isn't that nice? Where do they think? You know, I said something before.
Also, can I just say for the record, in this instance, if I walked up there and I said, wearing a MAGA hat, so they didn't know that I'm me and think what I think. If I went, electric tanks are amazing because the U.S. military will come and go in total silence, and the range on them will be further than diesel, and they can't get trapped because if these guys get, lost in the desert or something, there's plenty of sunlight, they could charge the thing up and get themselves back to where they could be recharged like that. And can you imagine an army of silent tanks just zipping through like giant metallic ninjas with huge cannons on the front of them, and everybody go like, yeah, fuck yeah, and you go, yeah, that's what he's against.
Just left Wisconsin. We had an incredible rally in Wisconsin.
Yes, the truck and structure thing happened.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, he was all becocked.
I got to do 2 of these things a day. You know why?
No one who's at this one would ever watch the other one. Is that what? That's why.
Because I'm in New York all the time with the Biden trial.
Well, and also because you golfed all weekend. There's that as well.
Fake trial.
And also, these rental areas are cheaper on Wednesdays. You got Wednesday off from court, and it's cheaper than the weekends. He's got the weekends off too, but he'd rather golf and do other shit. And the fairgrounds and shit he would use are more expensive on the weekends because the Nuge has a lot of them rented already. So he's having to do midweek and stack him because he's a cheap motherfucker. That's why.
That all of the legal scholars say is a disgrace. It's a
Yeah, all of them, all fucking four of them. What? Greg Jarrett, Dershowitz, McCarthy, Andy McCarthy, and who's the other dipshit? Jonathan Turley. All four of them.
fake trial. They do it to try and take your powers away, try and take your candidate away that's killing them in the polls. You know, if I didn't run.
Oh, 11. You're right. I left out 11. So that's the collect all 5.
Or if I was like in 4th place or 5th place or not doing well, none of those trials would exist.
Why? Would your crimes no longer be crimes?
But we're beating them so big in the polls, your heart is going to swell.
When? I would like to know when the heart swelling would begin. Does that mean he's going to give you the jab? Is he causing his audience myocarditis or tachycardia or something?
We got to get them out.
Yeah, you got to get him out before your heart swells inside your chest. We're gonna do so good. You're gonna be so happy. You're not now, but you will be.
And remember this, they also want to take your gas stoves. They want to give you very little water in your dish.
Well, they don't want to take your gas stoves. They just want to make sure you have proper ventilation so your kids don't grow up and have asthma and cost the medical system unnecessary amounts of money. I mean, if you're for the big pharma asthma drugs, yeah.
Dishwashers and your washing machines. You know, they want washing machines.
Oh, this motherfucker. Is he going to go into like, they don't even squirt water anymore. They're like, you might as well just spit on your dishes.
With very little water.
Right. Oh, this shit again. Nobody cares. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Literally, this is some like weird regulation boner he's had since the late 80s, early 90s.
And I'm talking about in states like your state, you don't have a water problem. You do have a water problem. You have too much water. They want to take your water out of your washing machines, your
No, they don't.
dishwashers.
How would they do that? Do they in a bucket? Or
They want to put water restrictors on your sinks and showers. You know, I ended all of that.
Thanks, and that's single-handedly. That's why Lake Mead went down. What the fuck? Yeah. Also, yeah, Flint, Michigan. Anybody? They do have a water issue. It had a lot to do with lead pipes. Wait, what? Some president recently is spending the money to finally get rid of lead pipes. I don't know who it is. I'll have to look it up after this.
People would buy a new home.
Would they? At 7%? What the hell? I mean, my parents paid 19% in the 70s for our house, but nobody would pay 7. That's too low.
And they were so proud, and they'd say, darling, it's so good. There's only one problem, darling, the sink. No water comes out, like drip, drip, drip.
Yeah, this happens all the time. I can't tell you. I mean, he's obviously just come straight from a realtor convention. This is all they talk about.
And darling, I have beautiful hair, but I can't do anything because in the shower the water doesn't come out. Darling, I want to get out of this house. I hate it.
Yes, that happens all the time. How far we were like 8 minutes into this shit and he's already going with the old water material that never worked?
And I say to him, take off the restrictor. But now they made the restrictor where you can't take it off unless you have a blowtorch, okay? Like our auto workers do, actually.
So not so much a problem for you people, I guess. But obviously a big problem in Nevada.
They want your apartments and homes with small windows and every other crazy thing they can think of. They don't want you.
That's right. You can't even buy big windows anymore. They don't even sell them. The only pieces of glass you can get are about this big, and you can only buy 4 at a time. It's really sad. Nobody's allowed to have windows anymore, except the giant ones in all new construction.
To have large windows because they're not as good with the sun.
What? Hold on. I got to back that up. You what? You can't have big windows because what?
They want your apartments and homes with small windows and every other crazy thing they can think of. They don't want you to have large windows because they're not as good with the sun. Actually, in many cases, they're better.
You mean letting the sunlight through? I agree. I mean, when you're right, you're right. And windows are great with the sun. They're way, I will say, I mean, you're the expert, but there's obviously some debate going on this about what lets more sunlight through, a window or a wall. It's hard to decide. I mean, obviously your wall wasn't a real wall. It's a slat fence, so plenty of sunlight and fentanyl is getting through that thing. But,
I will end all of these ridiculous quality of life destroying mandates just as I did just 3.5 years ago.
Especially those awful quality of life destroying mandates like not allowing coal runoff in rivers and streams. Yeah. Let Appalachia be Appalachia again. I'm sick of this becoming the new redneck Riviera where all this nice property, once the water's cleared out and there's not all these toxins in there and people are like, oh, this is a nice river to live near. Now I think I'll build a house of my own hands in the mountains of Kentucky and not have fucking cancer clusters. Well, that's done.
And days ago, crooked Joe Biden finalized a radical rewrite of Title IX education rules that
transy stuff
will impose the most extreme left-wing gender ideology on every school in America.
Boo! All children must be trans. There is no gender. Everyone will be referred to as it. And there will be no sexism anymore because it will magically disappear because we will start using the right words and none of the wrong words. I think that's as radical as we can get, right? Boo!
And I know you'll be...
Here's... The weird part is I'm not so much worried about men in women's sports as you in women's restrooms and dressing rooms.
Extremely happy to know that the new Biden policy is to let men into every girl's bathroom. That sounds reasonable.
Well, to you it would. Right, this is the stuff.
Every bath.
Also, not as big a reaction as I think he thought he was going to get. Right?
Every locker room. Ladies, get ready because the men are coming in. They actually signed it. You know, I said in Wisconsin.
And it was so much better. You said becocked, which I think is a word you should use. #becocked.
Came out and I said.
Wait a minute. I missed the Wisconsin one. You came out? Trump is gay? Well, I knew the Biden administration was enforcing some LGBTQIA++ stuff and whatever, but I had no idea that they'd mandate that Trump would be gay and have to announce it to the people. This is incredible.
The Republican Party really is the party of common sense. You know, we're conservative, or all that. But
yeah, all that.
Whether you're conservative, you're liberal, it's about common sense.
Sure, yeah, common sense dictates that 0.5% of the populace should be treated as outsiders no matter what their situation is, and anybody with gender issues should be excluded and cast aside and pointed out as a freak. Obviously, that's common sense, right? That's why wouldn't you? That sounds like, yeah.
We're the party. We want to have strong borders. We want to have low interest rates.
Well, then, why didn't you pass the border bill, which would have helped immensely, I guess? And then low interest rates, you were asking for negative interest rates. That's not low. That's paying you to borrow money.
We want to have a powerful military. We want to have great
hats that stay on.
By the way, it's windy as hell up here. Man.
It's Michigan, motherfucker. You're on it. For the record, you have a windsock behind you, you dumb son of a bitch. Here's a good idea. Next time, have them put a windsock in front of the stage so you know when the wind's coming.
I'm getting very little use out of these stupid teleprompters, I'll tell you. Could you imagine if Biden was up here and the teleprompters didn't work?
Yes. He wouldn't stop like this and bitch about the teleprompters. I've seen him during times when the teleprompter clearly didn't work and other stuff, but I have not seen him bitch about the teleprompters. He's probably going to bring up the pause storyline.
He's no good even when they do work. It still doesn't work. If I blow off the stage, I'll be right back up, I promise. But the gender policy, all of the different things that he's
Yeah, all the different
done,
things.
they're so bad, it's an attack.
They're all bad. The infrastructure bill, the rescue package, the CHIPS Act, the reshoring of factories, terrible. Unemployment under 4% for the longest stretch in American history. Awful, just awful.
Attack on women. And remember this, they want to allow men to play in women's sports, okay?
No, they want trans women to be able to play in sports or whatever, and there need to be a set of rules that balance that out or whatever, so opportunistic assholes like you and Mike Huckabee don't take advantage of it. That's the sensible way to go, but that's not the equivalent of men playing in women's sports, so fuck you.
But I promise you I will defend American women like nobody has ever defended them before.
Yes, by taking their rights away. Nobody would have thought to defend women. He's defending women like no one would have thought. I personally would have never thought about this. I would have never gone, how is he going to defend women? Well, by sexually assaulting them, bragging about it, and then claiming he never even met women that he's in pictures with, that he clearly had affairs with or sexually assaulted or across the entire spectrum. And then on top of that, removing their ability to get an abortion if they need to save their own life, and because fuck them, because they live in the wrong state. That, you mean like that? I would never expect anyone to defend women that way. It's almost like it's an attack on women. So maybe it's a semantics about the word.
And under the Trump administration, this lunacy will end. On my first day back in the Oval Office, I promise you it will end immediately.
No, it won't. By the way, the Title IX issue and how trans people are affected by where they can compete in sports and all that kind of stuff will ultimately be, in states and schools and locally dealt with all over the place. But you'll notice one thing he's not going to take care of is, say, a woman's right to choose or control over her own body. Yeah.
And regarding the squatters, where you have a problem, and by the way, you have a terrible governor. I hope you know that. Remember
squatters? Is he talking about squatters?
during COVID, the only one that had any rights in your state was the governor's husband. Do you remember? Remember, he was sailing, beautifully sailing, and you're not allowed to sail?
Yeah, there was a big... sorry, during your presidency, people weren't allowed to sail. Is that how it was? Legally?
For whatever reason, they wanted
Yeah, I don't know, for whatever
to keep you in your house. That didn't work out too well. And regarding the squatters all over
Well, it did. I mean, it's not like Michigan had a giant number of dead.
the country who are trying to take over your apartments and your homes under the Trump administration, they will be gone immediately. They'll be gone in 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Just walk in and shoot them before they even can get their ID out. And prove that, like, no, this is actually my house. The people you're looking for just left.
Joe Biden is the worst, most incompetent, most corrupt president in the history of our country.
You're right. He is terrible at being corrupt. Of all the corruption, he's doing everything so honestly. He's just terrible at corruption.
And Crooked Joe knows that in a fair election, he's going down in a landslide. Every poll is showing that. You've seen the polls.
Yeah, the polls said something similar early in the year in 2020 as well. Didn't quite work out that way, did it?
We're leading big in Michigan, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
We're leading big.
Oh, yeah, keep telling everybody that. Yeah, stay home, people. That's all. You're going to be fine.
Why wouldn't we? Who wouldn't be? I mean, honestly, who the
I don't know. He beat you last time by a lot.
hell wouldn't be leading? This guy, he's coming out of a helicopter the other day. He's falling. He's holding on. Can you imagine the foreign countries? Like I visited China. They must have had 100,000 soldiers there. President Xi is standing there. Can you imagine falling out of an airplane or coming down the children's stairs as they have 100,000 soldiers? That's why Biden is trying so hard to jail.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
He wants to jail his political opponent like they do in third world countries or banana.
Excuse me.
A ninth world country, not a third world country, a ninth world country.
Thank you. Yes, third world.
Or banana republics. He wants
which is a great store, by the way, and their suits fit great right off the rack.
To give it a
For me, anyways. I know it's a
shot, there's only one problem.
He doesn't even know how many other crimes you've committed beyond the ones you've been charged with. I agree.
Every one of these fake cases is bullshit.
Ooh, swear word.
Every single one of them.
Okay, yeah, he's got to say bullshit because he's losing the crowd. They're already bored.
Terrible.
Terrible bullshit. It's bullshit. The bullshit.
And as you know, I've come here today.
I think he got heckled again. He got heckled at the one earlier today, so it's hard to tell. A little windy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go fuck it. Yeah, kiss my.
Thank you very much. What a crowd.
Suck up.
I remember in 2020, we got...
No, you don't.
Well, I don't know if you know. In 2020, we got more votes than any sitting president in history by far.
Yeah, it's amazing what mail-in voting does as far as turnout.
And by the way, there's no way he got 80 million votes, in case you had any question.
You're right, he got 81.
We got more votes than any sitting president by far. They said if I got the 63 million that I got the first time, which we won, that there was no way I could lose. I got millions.
No, they said you're changing the story. Or somebody told you 2.5 million more. Like, if you got 64.5 or 65 million, there's no way you could lose, which is why you, I guess, bought all the votes that you bought and paid people to vote twice and did all that stuff. That's why you were like, I know there was corruption and I know there was fraud because you paid for it yourself, but it just wasn't enough.
Millions and millions of more votes than that. And they nipped us. They just nipped it. We're not letting that happen.
Nipped it. Dude, it was like 8 million votes.
Again, we're not letting that bullshit happen again. We're not going to let it.
Okay, that's bullshit. Are we on a bullshit counter now? Now, it worked too well. So I got to say, you can't hit the pipe that often. You got to play it cool.
I have come here today from New York City, where I'm being forced to sit for days on end in a kangaroo courtroom with a corrupt and conflicted judge enduring a Biden sideshow trial.
In a Biden sideshow trial? I mean, you are a freak, but I don't think...
At the hands of a Marxist district attorney, Soros-backed.
Soros?
Who's taking orders from the Biden administration.
Why, if he's Soros-backed, why isn't he taking... Don't you dance with the one that brung you? Why is he taking orders from Biden? Why wouldn't he take orders from Soros? Soros.
These trials, by the way, so if I didn't run...
you'd be in jail already?
Or if I came in fourth, I'd have no problem right now. I'd be in a beautiful someplace. I'd be...
Right. Translation. Hey, Michigan, I hate this place. This is not beautiful. This place looks like shit.
Someplace, but you know what, honestly...
I'd be someplace, and this is no place. You are nobodies, and if I was way back, I wouldn't be trying. I would just be like, fuck these people. I'm not going back to Michigan. That place is a dump.
I'd rather be with you. I'd much rather be with you.
Yeah, he's digging himself out of that one.
Yeah. I'd much rather be with you.
That's why the plane is parked, so you can just hop right on the fucker and get the hell out of there. I'd rather be with you than with Melania. Boy, does she give me a lot of shit right now. Hush money or nothing. I don't know. This is awkward.
But what you're witnessing in New York is not a legal proceeding. It's an unlawful exercise in very stupid and very evil politics. But here's the good news.
I think he was supposed to say lawfare at that point, and he just bailed on the word lawfare because he doesn't think it sounds macho enough.
It's driven the poll numbers higher than we've ever had before.
Also, a little bit of telling body language. It's driven the poll numbers higher, and he's pointing down.
Because people...
It's because he sees the internal polling he knows.
Get it. It's a scam, and they get it. These indictments are not just an attack on me, they're an assault on the constitutional rights of all Americans.
To sexually assault people, defraud banks and the IRS, and to steal classified documents. I didn't realize I had those rights. It's fascinating. What amendment is that one again?
Remember this, Alphonse Capone. Has
Oh dear God.
anyone ever heard of Al Capone?
No, especially not in Michigan, where they snuck liquor across the border into Canada.
Scarface. He would kill
And vice versa.
people if he looked at them and didn't like them. They'd be dead the next morning. They'd never find the body.
Okay, so if they looked at him funny, he'd kill them. If he didn't like the way they looked, he would kill them, and they would never find the body.
He got indicted less than I did.
Well, that's because they never found the body. I guess obviously he's much better at criming than you are. You left, metaphorically speaking, bodies all over the place. Obviously he was good at it, and you suck. I mean, but that's the whole point. You can't indict somebody if you don't have a body. It's way hard. So, obviously you were stupid, left evidence everywhere. Yeah.
You believe it? Scarface. I got so many
As opposed to Nuntface.
indictments. One day I came in, sir, you've been indicted twice today. I said, oh boy, I thought it was going to be 3 times. That's incredible. Now, these are corrupt people. They did this because...
By the way, they don't sell MAGA tie clips. I'm just saying they might be, they're just missing a financial opportunity. I mean, I don't know what chapter that would be in Art of the Deal, but didn't occur to him to, maybe some tape.
It's an attack on a political opponent, and a lot of political opponents wouldn't do too well under those circumstances, but I have a relationship with the people, and I explained it to them.
Yeah, not the Nikki Haley voters, obviously, and certainly not any Democrats, and certainly an increasingly small number of independents that you're losing more of by the day, and also women.
And they understand it's a scam, and they understand it's the worst president
Well, if they understand it's a scam, you don't even have to talk about it. I would just stand up there and give a regular stump speech then, wouldn't you?
in the history of our...
Right? Right? Am I wrong, people? People in the chat room? Does it seem like if everybody knows it and everybody knows it's a scam, why would you even have to talk about it then? Couldn't you just come out and say, hey, here's what I'm going to do, here's what I did?
country by far, who couldn't get elected dog catcher except that he's in a party that's really, really good at cheating. That's one thing. They're not good at policy. They're
Well, they did get an infrastructure bill.
horrible. Open borders, high interest rates.
They also have, stopped MTG's attempt to oust her own speaker.
High taxes, bad military. Everything's bad. No home. Everything's bad.
No home. Yeah, everything is bad, especially that no home thing. No home. By the way, I don't know what the fuck this is. I mean, obviously he doesn't live with his wife, but he doesn't actually live in a house that, he bounces between rental properties.
But they're great at
This is our first homeless president.
cheating in elections. It's about the only thing they do well. The ultimate verdict on this travesty will not come in a courtroom. It will come at the ballot box, and the American people are going to find crooked Joe Biden guilty of trying to destroy our country. He's destroyed.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. It's vote. Your vote is your verdict. Wait for them to say that.
Destroying our country. He's destroying our country.
Our country.
And you know, it's
He means Russia.
interesting. I said it a couple of times before
Yes, no one will ever accuse you of being original.
to large crowds, but
Not like this one. To big crowds, not this podunk little horseshit thing gathering. I'm gonna kill Jason Miller for this shit. This is nasty. What the heck? Where am I? The fucking high school football game? What the fuck?
what happened is incredible. And
That's good. Yeah.
we could have done something on Hillary Clinton. I thought it would be a terrible thing for the country, to be honest with you. Terrible.
Oh, it means lock her up.
We could have done on other people, too. I thought it would be terrible for the country.
But you went along with it during the campaign because it got these assholes up in a fever pitch, and And you're like, I'll lock her up, and I could just do it because I'm president. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Total immunity. Even if she's not guilty of anything, I can fucking get her thrown in jail, right? Biden would never do something like that, and he doesn't have the right to, except if he's president. Oh shit, he's president. Wait a minute, why do I want him to have all these rights?
And they did on me what was never, ever supposed to happen, especially when there's nothing. But you know what? It was very interesting.
It is. It's super interesting.
When this happened, and it happened very quickly.
But it took years.
I changed my tune. I said, thank you very much, because now I speak about him. I had great reverence for the presidency.
No, you didn't.
President of the United States. And I used to talk about him fairly tough, but not nearly as tough as he deserved. Because
no, you were too busy attacking the women and the people of color that were running. Honestly, it seemed like you were afraid to go after him because he's a white dude who's slightly older than you.
Because I had respect for the office, not for him so much, but for the office. And now I say,
fuck the office. Fuck America. Fuck all this.
He's the worst president in history. He's the most corrupt president in history.
Yeah, you said that part earlier.
He's grossly incompetent. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He doesn't have a clue. He is a disaster.
But he wasn't born in Kenya. You got to give him that, I guess. Oh, sorry, reverence. You were saying reverence for the office.
For our country. And I say it over and over again, and I have no problem in saying it. He's the worst president in...
Well, you do have some problem. I don't mean morally or ethically. You just have difficulty pronouncing the words sometimes.
The history of our country, and we got to get him out because he's destroying America. He's destroying our great country.
Except not so much.
In the middle of a presidential election, think of it.
By the way, the wind is really strong. Thanks, Joe Biden. Fucking weather satellites, DARPA, clearly.
The Republican nominee for president is being attacked like nobody's ever been attacked before.
What do you mean, with fucking kid gloves? Kennedy? Lincoln? Garfield? Anybody? All right.
But all of that being done and all of that being said, the fake charges, the legal targets, everything. And, you know, we've had tremendous reviews from great people. Jonathan Turley.
Yeah, reviews. Yeah, they loved it. Jonathan Turley loved the play. He thought it was a little long in places, but overall the performances were stellar. It's going to run forever.
And
it's like Cats. Not the musical, the movie. Except with worse music.
Andy McCarthy, Mark Levin.
Right, the same assholes he brings up. Now again, every legal scholar believes this is all garbage, so he should just be able to riff on names.
Greg Jarrett, Sean Hannity.
Yes, great legal minds like Sean Hannity, who I believe would agree with me when I say is a dope.
I agree. I'm a dope.
See? He's a dope.
I agree. I'm a dope.
Right. But he's a fine legal mind compared to the other dopes that he is absolutely, he's clearly king of the dopes.
I agree. I'm a dope.
Right.
So many people, but great experts, great legal experts. Alan Dershowitz just came out.
Yeah, he did. Oh, he's gay too? I didn't realize. I don't buy that one though. I think he's just trying to say that to get out of the fact that he got a massage at Jeffrey Epstein's house in, that's near your place, right? In New York? It's like a 4-minute cab ride.
Saying there's no case, there's no crime. He didn't do anything wrong. What are you doing? These are people, not every one of them love me.
They all do. They're all ass kissers.
These are people that...
That's also debatable. I'm kidding.
That just want to speak the truth. They said there's no Andy McCarthy today.
They said there's no Andy McCarthy? Well, I can't agree with them there. I think I'm certain there's at least one.
There's no case. It's a witch hunt, and we're not going to take it. We're not.
You kind of are, though.
Going to take it. They can't.
You are going to take it. You'll be back in court tomorrow taking it, I think.
Can't do that to our country.
They're not doing it to the country. You did this to yourself. That's how court works.
The judge, by the way, is the most conflicted person in the history.
I don't think he is. I think he's very sure that you're a scumbag. I don't think there's any, I don't think he wakes up and goes, "Is Trump a scumbag?" Maybe he is. I don't know. Having an Ed Grimley moment. Oh, perhaps he is the grossest person in the world, and yet maybe not. Maybe he's misunderstood. Who can say? Oh God, I must say, totally an adjudicated rapist, and yet perhaps they were asking for it, but I don't think so. I must say.
I don't think there's ever been a more conflicted judge. Crooked and conflicted. And I'm unconstitutionally gagged. He gagged me. So I'm not even supposed to be, I would say, talking to you because he gagged me. Think of it.
We're thinking of it while you're talking, you're gagged. Maybe that's why your words don't make sense. Why didn't I think of that? Guys, we thought he was just talking shit and gibberish. Turns out this is what it sounds like when you talk while you're gagged.
Former president and a very popular president. We had the greatest economy in history.
Nope.
We had the best, safest border that we ever had in
Thanks, COVID.
history.
And then you built the wall, and it's been bad ever since.
I rebuilt the military. We created Space Force. We had the biggest tax cuts in history.
You named Space Force. It already existed.
The biggest regulation cut. And then I run again and win in the fastest time in the history of the Republican or Democrat.
Oh, I see. Right. Run again in the primaries, because you ran again and you lost while you were in office.
Party. I won the nomination.
Yeah, but you didn't run unopposed, which is weird since you'd already been president. You're supposed to be the most popular guy ever.
Somebody else would still be campaigning to try and win. I won it 2 months ago.
Yeah, but you also lost like a significant number of votes to people who had already dropped out.
Took down some very talented people very quickly, very precisely, very easily.
I'm sorry, but the untalented people kicked your ass for a long time? So Nikki Haley was a problem. She's the least talented. Maybe talent's the problem.
And I have a judge, politically appointed. I have a judge who gagged me. I'm not allowed to talk about things. And nobody's seen anything quite like it. I have to.
No, it's really common that you can't talk about jurors and witnesses and members of the court in a lot of cases like this. Mobsters go through this. Ask one of them. You're friends with them. They helped you get concrete.
Tell you. But the good news is we can explain it. Somebody else wouldn't be able to explain it. Not because they couldn't, but because there'd be 3 people in the audience. I can explain it. Look at all those fake cameras back there.
They're real cameras, I think. I don't know. Maybe they aren't. Maybe they put cameras up as props because this is just, also maybe Real America's Voice. Maybe their camera's fake, made out of cardboard. Boo, fake cameras. Why don't they have real cameras here? Trump is important.
Then I had another judge. These are New York judges. I had another judge, Judge Engoron. He takes assets that are worth billions and billions of dollars, and he says, oh, they're worth just a little bit, like 18 million. He takes an asset that's worth $1 billion, $1.5 billion.
Mar-a-Lago is not worth $1 billion or $1.5 billion.
He says it's worth 18 because that's his narrative.
No, because that's your narrative. That's what you wrote down.
And they come out.
If you had to sell it right now, that's the baseline.
Against me on something where it was absolutely perfect.
If it was seized and they had to sell it and they auctioned it or they gave it to the city to use, that's how much it's worth.
And he said, oh, you're rich. Pay a $500 million fine. $500 million!
Right, he's not rich.
And we want to.
This judge actually thinks he's a good judge, and he actually thinks this judge thinks this guy's rich? He's terrible.
Bond. But the problem is bonding companies don't do bonds of that amount. They do.
Wow, maybe get, 4 companies to do small versions.
A bond for $1 million, $2 million. They don't do bonds of $500 million.
Yeah, we're not talking about bail bonds, you dumb motherfucker.
But he comes up on a perfect trial, great financial statements.
A perfect trial. Oh, okay. Well, then I guess there goes your appeal. Your Honor, this was a perfect trial. All right. Pay the fine then. I don't know. Fuck you. Perfect trial. All right, sure.
Built a great company. He comes out.
Your dad built a great company. You destroyed
And
it.
he fines me $500 million. And he found me guilty before the case even started.
Yeah, because it was all in the paperwork. This was about how much you owed.
He said, he's guilty. And the guy doesn't even, the other day,
Just the other day?
he didn't know what cash was. We said, we're going to put up all cash.
I think he knows what cash is. I just think he thinks you don't know the difference between cash and bullshit.
And he didn't know what that meant. And this is the guy that's ruling on me in New York. And then we have another one in New York who gave someone 90.
Also, no, a money market account that does not have the amount that static in it, that is the amount of the bond, is not cash.
$91 million because they said I defamed her. Because I said her story isn't true, I defamed her. $91 million.
Might want to stop right there, dumb fuck.
$91 million.
Yep, you might shut the fuck up. Because if you say, I don't know who she is, you're doing it again.
Oh, so anyway. Hopefully the appeal process works, because if it doesn't, you just don't have a country. $91 million because I defamed her. Unbelievable. And I didn't defame anybody.
Getting pretty fucking close there, buddy.
Businesses all over the world are watching. They're fleeing New York State.
Yes, Russians, Chinese, Iranians.
Because of all of this crap that's going on, they're fleeing.
Good.
And they're not coming back either. They're not
Good.
coming back. And hopefully the court system will straighten out. Because all over the world, they're watching this stuff. They're watching this current trial.
And they're like, oh shit, we can't hide our money in New York real estate anymore amongst the mobsters and the Trumps of the world.
And they're seeing what a scam it is. And they don't like it. Nobody likes it. But hopefully we'll win all of that stuff easily on appeal.
Nope.
We haven't had a decision here, but the decision here can probably only be one thing, I guess, because
Yeah, sure.
everybody's, this whole thing, it's
I don't know what to
a
do.
rigged deal. It's a rigged deal.
Is it?
And we shouldn't allow this to happen in this country. We can't allow this to happen in this country. But the fact is,
It is happening.
the important vote to me is the vote on November 5th, because
Right, because you see this as your only way of getting out of this stuff. I'm sorry, you're you're fucked.
it's going to turn out to be the single most important day
In your life.
in the history of our country.
No. I'm gonna still go. Call me old school, but I'm still going with July 4th. Yeah, 1776, kind of meaningful, in terms of how I feel about things, and I'm sure like Juneteenth is another good one. That's another because yeah, there's a bunch of days in particular over the over the centuries now that are really, really crucial. This ain't one of them. I mean, it's good, certainly. Saying goodbye to this dumb motherfucker and putting him in the rearview mirror will be terrific. I will say, but pivotal, not so much. This is, unfortunately, kids, I'd like to say that this is a ginormous thing like, the 60s, but it isn't. It's going to be a ruffle we all live through. COVID had more impact than this dumb motherfucker.
And we're going to get things straightened out.
That's true.
We're like,
Not a lot of people standing, I will say. There's a lot of sitting. A lot of people, I mean, there's a few people that are blocking and being assholes, but it's almost like they strategically place cheerleaders in the crowd and they're not very good at it.
in the Soviet Union. That's what's happened to this country,
Yeah, it's exactly like that. It totally is. That's why you're in a gulag right now instead of standing in a private airfield blathering your bullshit and attacking the president in front of your private plane, which is exactly how, Lenin treated his opponents.
We are. Okay, go ahead. Let's go. Let's go. Think of this. Just think of this. Joe Biden failed on the border.
I feel like, was somebody leaving? Somebody, was that a, hold on, back up. Did somebody, were they cheering because somebody started yelling?
We're like in the Soviet Union. That's what's happened to this country. You know, we are. Okay, go ahead. Let's go. Let's go. Think of this. Just
Okay, so I think he's either talking about somebody there or it's his teleprompter. He's saying, let's go to the teleprompter guy.
think of this.
All right, I'm thinking of it. I'm thinking that your teleprompter guy fell asleep.
Joe Biden failed on the border. He failed on inflation. He failed on gas prices. He failed on every single thing, including Afghanistan, the most vicious, embarrassing
Vicious and embarrassing.
day or period in the life of this
Yeah, day, period, week, month, I don't know.
country, Afghanistan.
The 21 years we were there before Biden got us out, you mean?
Remember that disaster? Most
No, I really don't. Refresh my memory again.
embarrassing day. He failed on every single thing he touches.
Except getting us out of there. I will say that, you know, as difficult as it was and unfortunate as it was for the lives lost, we're out. So if he succeeded in getting us out in spite of the situation, wasn't every day you stayed in a failure?
Turns to shit.
He needs to try harder, though.
Every single thing he touches turns out to be no good. He's no good on policy.
Yeah, the stock market going up, terrible. Low unemployment, awful. Wages rising, sickening. Infrastructure bill passed, terrible.
He's no good on military. He's
no good.
no good
on military.
finance. Our
No, on finance.
country is crashing. He's no good on inflation. Inflation is a disaster. It's eating you alive.
Yes, you think you're happy and you have got time to go to a rally. You don't, you broke motherfuckers.
It's a wonder Joe Biden and his thugs are so desperate to stop us. They know that
It's no wonder. It would be no wonder, not it's a wonder.
we are the only ones who can stop them. We are the only ones. You know,
All right, well then I guess he's not going to be stopped.
when I say we,
Yeah, I mean, what obviously when he says we, he means
PP2.
all right.
We have a big group of people like this all over the place, and
A big group of people like this all over the place.
we have more voters. I say we have 250 million people.
Yeah, that's ridiculous because that would include every undocumented person in the country and a lot of children.
Say we have 250 million people that want to see our country be great again. In the new Emerson poll just came out, we're up 4 points in Michigan. In another one, we're up 7 points. And I saw one where we're 11 points up in Michigan. And why wouldn't we be?
Yeah, I mean, you paid for the poll. I mean, it should look good. You get what you pay for.
We're also leading in every single swing state.
Well, then why are your rallies smaller? They just figure they get it.
Every one of them. That's why we have to watch the cheating. Keep your eyes open. Watch the cheating.
Yes, watch the cheating, especially when the other people that are with you here do it. Help them because Trump needs you to vote twice.
Radical left Democrats rigged the presidential election in 2020, but we're not going to allow them to rig the presidential election, the most important day of our lives in 2024. We're not.
Okay, real quick. If while you were president, they managed to rig it while they were out of office and just a private campaign, what the fuck makes you think you have a shot with him actually in office? If you really believed that, and you want him to have total immunity to what? Dust you off and rig the polls and then pardon himself? Are you fucking bananas?
Going to allow it. We're going to protect the vote, and I'm pleased to, this is the first time I've announced this, actually, announced that
Oh boy.
Our campaign is going to be leading a historic effort in conjunction with the RNC, that's
in conjunction with the RNC?
Republican National Committee.
Oh, that's what it is. I thought it was something else. Yeah.
The state parties and a team
I thought it was the Regional Nazi Commission or something. But sure, what's the difference?
of the most highly qualified lawyers and other professionals in the country to
Look, are we supposed to judge these lawyers by the ones you hire?
ensure that what happened in 2020 will never happen again. We're not going to allow it to happen again.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you should stop all the people from the villages from trying to vote twice.
The only good thing about 2020, it showed how bad they are.
Yeah, it totally did. And by you losing so heavily, it showed how bad they are.
It showed what a rotten job they do. That's why we're more popular now than we were 4 years ago, because you like Trump. And you know what I hate? When these
Women? Sorry, go ahead.
guys get on television, they say, the pundits, you know, the great pundits that never did a thing in their whole lives.
You mean like Mark Levin or Greg Jarrett or Sean Hannity?
You know, we have two very unpopular candidates. We have Biden and we have Trump. These are very unpopular. I'm not unpopular. We had 94%, 95% popularity in the Republican Party. I'm not unpopular.
In 2020 you did, but now you have 70% of your own party.
Amazing.
It's amazing you don't know this.
I'm not unpopular.
Yes, you are. But which, by the way, is something that a popular person often finds themselves having to say like that. I think nothing really says it like...
Amazing. I'm not unpopular.
All right, I'm convinced. I'm sorry, we got this long. I can't wait. All right, one more time.
Amazing. I'm not unpopular.
Oh, shit, that's good. Oh, God. All right, sure, man. Yeah. No, you're the best. Everybody loves you. Yeah. What's the phrase I keep thinking? Goes without saying? Sure. Oh, that's good stuff. 1 second. All right. Anyways, you were saying?
I'm unpopular with China. China doesn't like me too much. You know, we took in
Because you lost and you owed them? And Biden's been kicking their ass since he got in office?
hundreds of billions of dollars from China.
No, you didn't.
No other president took in 10 cents.
Okay, the company is called Tencent, and the pushback on it was what everybody in your office was talking about. They're not talking about an actual 10 cents. They're talking about the company Tencent, and you're too fucking stupid to understand the difference between 10 cents and 10 cent, which is, all right.
Other countries, Germany, other countries, I did a lot. Oh, I love that. Look at that young lady. Turn that around. I love
Oh, dear God.
that.
Ew. Turn what around?
Wow.
This is not good.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, this doesn't sound good. I gotta say, as bites go, this is pretty bad.
Wow.
Oh. Give that to Melania, and she can pull the letters off and put on I don't really give a fuck.
I want to buy that from you. I want to wear that. Thank you, darling. That's beautiful. Thank you very much. Really beautiful.
Yeah, wear the jacket that says Trump won in 2020. Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah. Love to see it. Wear it everywhere like a fucking lunatic. And don't forget to tell people you're not unpopular.
No matter how you vote, whether it's early on election day, by mail or in person, it doesn't matter.
Early on election day? What difference does it make what time of day you do it, as long as you do it before the deadline on election day?
We'll make sure your ballot is secure. We want to make you sure, but we're going to be sure that your ballot's secure. You're not going to put in ballots that don't count. You're not.
Okay, well, I got bad news for you. If you're encouraging early voting and you're encouraging people to mail in their ballots, what it means is that your local district assholes that were throwing out mail-in ballots in an attempt to undermine Biden are not going to be able to just blanketly throw out mail-in ballots, assuming the vast majority of them are Democrats, and just understanding that statistically it's a very minor number of Trump voters that will get their vote chucked out. And if you're encouraging it, you could significantly lower the number of votes that you... Never mind. Why am I helping?
Not going to put in and do things. You're not going to have other people not there, but putting in a ballot. Like...
Sure, that made sense.
A couple of cases that you happen to hear about. I'm sure you heard about a little place called Detroit, right? Where they had more ballots than they had voters.
Fucking military guys, right? Yeah, how dare they be deployed overseas?
A little thing like that. And then by the time the people got screamed at all night, they sort of said, oh, they were called every name under the book. And
under the book? What's under the book? Every name under the book. Sure. Where the fuck did this asshole learn to talk? Is this what they... Is he one of these lizard people posing as a human being, and this is why they don't know... He doesn't know the phrases?
They sort of said, oh, but they had...
They sort of said, oh. Yeah, I agree. They sort of said, oh. I remember when they sort of said, oh.
They said, oh.
Yeah.
Think of it. They had more ballots than they had voters. We're not going to let it happen again.
No, they didn't.
And you have to be very vigilant, too, because you can see it. You see it happening better than anybody else.
No, they don't.
It's really a source. We're going to watch the radical left Democrat like hawks. All these Democrats we're going to watch like hawks.
Okay. From trees?
Because, honestly, I don't like saying this.
Okay, then
They
don't.
cheat like hell. They cheat like hell. In plenty of other places, too. And
Yeah, everywhere. It's so much. Like at golf, they cheat like at golf. They're always... Oh, wait.
we're going to make America great again. It's very simple. We're going to make our country great again.
It's starting to fade.
Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me, I consider it a great badge of honor because I'm being indicted for you.
No people in the audience are guilty of stealing classified documents or sexual assault that we're aware of. I feel like this is another... You're getting in another E. Jean Carroll situation. You should not defame your own crowd.
Never forget, our enemies want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom, and it's good. It's good.
What's good? Taking away their freedoms? Okay, so he's God now, and it is good. He saw it, and it's good. Honest to God, that's just weird.
Never.
Never. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's like Chevy Chase in Christmas Vacation. It's good. It's good.
And it's good that I have a good memory. You know why?
I don't remember.
Because this teleprompter is facing you, not facing. Yes, sir. These teleprompters are just gonzo, folks. They're gonzo.
They're gonzo. As in gone and just throw a zo on the end of it, like people who insist on saying porno instead of just porn.
I hate to use the word folks. Cross out
Hate using the word gonzo.
the word folks. You ever hear Biden?
Oh. He said folks and he caught himself and said he doesn't like saying folks.
Every other word is folks. Okay, folks. It's like a nervous habit. I don't use the word folks. They want to silence me because I will never let them.
He uses the word folks.
Silence you, and in the end, they're not after me, they're after you, and I...
No, they're kind of after you. I think pretty much, I got to tell you, it'd be a real... Biden might actually have a difficult re-election ahead of him if it was anybody but you. Maybe Ted Cruz would have, he'd be dead in the water too, and Santorum and the like. But if it was like Haley Kasich, you could make an argument this would be a real race. And they wouldn't be indicted for anything because they haven't done anything.
Just happened to be standing in their way.
No, I mean, that's just the only. I mean, what are you doing? Gassing everyone and trying to keep them away?
Standing in their way.
That's what it says in the thing, standing in their way.
And it's an honor to have this crowd. This is a hell of a crowd. That's a big, look at it. They go past the hangar.
Past the hangar, which is right there. They go past the hangar. How far away is the hangar then? 47 feet. Yeah, pull the camera back. Show us how big it is. I mean, look how huge it is. You can barely make out the people.
You know, I ask this all the time.
Mm-hmm. Where am I? And when will I get a new diaper?
And it never happens. It's very, very sad, actually.
Oh, turn the cameras around?
But I ask it all the time. It never happens. I want the press to take their cameras and turn them around. And right from the beginning, from 2015, you know, before we ran, and we had these big crowds, never an empty seat.
Also, these are his cameras.
But we had the big crowds, and I would ask them, turn around and show the crowd. And even the ones that are semi-friendly, they just wouldn't do it.
Okay, they're doing it right now.
And I thought it was a mechanical problem that they couldn't do it, but they could. I learned that they could. There you go.
Okay, big press. There's the guys.
But I'd like him to turn the camera backwards and see the crowd.
If you turn the other way, you see that there's nobody there.
And see the people that can't even...
Yeah, there's the edge of it right there. Just looks like, what, just under 1,000 people?
Even get in here. And I thought it was a mechanical. I figured the steel, and you can't turn the camera.
Is that what you thought?
And then in
yeah, well, you were on television. You know.
2016, there was a very bad...
A mechanical problem? It was a botanical problem. It had to do with the plants.
Bad fight in the backhand, left-hand corner of the room.
Yeah, the backhand, left-hand corner.
And the cameras hardly had access to it. And those cameras turned...
Is he trying to unscrew it right now? And the guy trying to
around
move it?
like a pretzel. And I realized they don't want to show our crowds.
There you go.
They don't want to...
That's okay. That's him standing there. That's forward.
Show our crowds.
All right,
but I'd love you and the
okay,
fake news media to turn the cameras around and show the crowds. It would be a great thing. Watch. The cameras will be dead on. They never do it. Because they're...
Yeah, they already did it, and it wasn't impressive at all. They're doing you a favor, dumb fuck.
Fake. That's why we call them the fake news. That's why we call them the fake news. So we're pleased to be joined. It makes no sense. You know, it would be more exciting for somebody watching at home to see a big crowd. But
yes, but there isn't one.
For some reason, they just don't do it. And I guess they're instructed by the boss not to do it. But we're going to kick the boss's ass pretty soon.
What do you mean, the head of RSBN?
We're pleased to be joined tonight by a man who is going to be a warrior in the United States Senate.
Okay, he's just jumping ahead to this bullshit. Honestly, like, they turned. What, is it just me or...
The Michigan auto industry will be demolished if you don't have guys like him, but you're going to have me. I'm going to save your industry, and we're going to make your industry...
Yeah, even if you don't have him, I got it covered.
Much bigger. Because we're going to put tariffs on cars that are coming into our country. I don't know if you know it. By the way, before I do with Mike, China is building some of the largest auto plants in the world along our border in Mexico, and they think they're going to take those cars and sell them into the United States.
Yeah, but the Biden administration just hit them with a tariff over that. They raised the standards for what country of origin means.
States and lose all your jobs in Michigan. And
nope, already handled.
You ought to tell the head of the auto workers as
that, and he'll go, yeah, we know. Biden just they had an executive order to raise what the standards are, and there's already a law specifically.
The union boss, he stinks because what he's allowing to happen.
Oh, he stinks. Easy there. Language. There are adults with the mental capacity of children present in that crowd. Watch your fucking mouth.
to you as union workers, and we're going to get 95% of the auto workers anyway. But we're going to put tariffs on those cars, and we're not going to let them sell those cars in the United States. We're not going to let it happen.
Already happened.
Mike will be facing off against a far-left liberal lunatic named Slotkin. She's terrible. She's terrible. Not respected in Washington, laughed at, gives everything away to the opponent, very big for China. She fully supports banning gas-powered cars and trucks. She wants you gas. By the way, especially you.
Oh, God.
Somebody that's against gasoline-powered cars, you can't have them.
No, you can't. You can't have them.
In this state.
In this state, you can't have them.
Because if you do,
you can't.
Told me you want to have her, and
if you told me you want to have her, yes.
Somebody wanted to fight me on gas powered, then we can't make your auto industry gay because it's only going to be the.
Yeah, you can't make it gay. You cannot make the auto industry gay.
Me on gas powered, then we can't make your auto industry gay because it's.
Yeah, you cannot. If you got a Democrat in there, that Democrat will stop will stop Donald Trump from making your auto industry gay.
In this state, because if you told me you want to have her, and if somebody wanted to fight me on gas powered, then we can't make your auto industry gay because it's.
No, you can't make it gay. You cannot. I know you want to. And there'll be no drag races. That's right. No drag racing at all. Because none of the cars will be gay.
It's only going to be the hybrids and the gasoline-powered cars.
Yeah, bisexuals, we call them, bisexual cars. It's just all the cars are going to be bi, but none of them will be gay anymore. They eliminate all the gay cars.
That are going to turn around your state, so you have no choice but to vote.
Well, I mean, maybe if they're turning around, maybe they are gay. Maybe, I mean, as Carlin said, bend over and let's find out.
Vote against her. Slotkin is also.
Slotkin's gonna, of all people, to keep you from making the cars gay. I don't know. I just want to know, does Alex Jones know about this? Because I know he's concerned about the frogs, but have you let him know about your plan for the cars?
An open borders extremist who has repeatedly voted for mass amnesty.
For Canadians in Michigan because of the border?
She is not.
She's doing the thing.
I don't think she's going to. I tell you, Mike.
I got it. I don't even know.
I think you're going to win this thing, man.
I got it because it's going to be good.
A vote for Slotkin is a vote to raise your taxes, kill Michigan manufacturing jobs, and
keep all of your cars electric and straight.
Flood your communities with illegal aliens and a lot of Chinese-built electric vehicles. I don't think we want them in Michigan.
No.
That's why you must vote for Mike Rogers, highly respected, no matter where he goes. Mike, come.
Okay, by the way, he says highly respected because when Mike loses, it's not going to be his fault. He'll go, he was very respected. I backed him because everybody said he was going to win, but he lost. So that wasn't my fault. Other people told me he was big. He's highly respected. That's what you fuckers said. So how did he lose? You guys said he was going to win. I don't need to be backing losers.
Come on up, Mike. Come on up.
Boring, stupid and silly and boring.
You have a rare choice there.
Yeah, totally.
Normally you come in, people haven't heard his. He's a man who was tested and highly respected in Washington, and that's what you need, especially with the car industry and all of
with all that stuff.
The other things.
Right. Yeah, it's a runway, fuckwad.
I thought that was China. That was a loud plane. That was an old one. Those old ones are a little loud.
What are you talking about? That was a jet.
We're also pleased to be joined by Michigan.
Your plane is older than that plane that just went by. More than likely.
Michigan GOP chair ambassador and a very good friend of mine, Pete Hoekstra. He's
good camera work, by the way, our NTD.
Fantastic. Pete. Hi, Pete. Thank you.
Hi, Pete. Is Dick there?
Where's Dick? Hi, Dick. Do we like Dick? Yes.
What? Dumps. They call them dumps, big, massive dumps.
Yeah.
How we doing, Pete?
I don't know.
Where's Dick? Everything good? I hear very good numbers. Yeah, thanks. Pete is fantastic. Was a congressman, was an ambassador, and every.
Yeah, and he's great for Michigan.
Michigan gave us Motown, gave us Motown, gave us the Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he did, he was really successful at. Michigan gave us Motown.
Oh, yeah.
He was with me all the way.
Yes, he was. All the way through Motang.
Michigan Senate Republican leader Eric Nesbitt. Thank you, Eric.
No relation to Michael and the invention of whiteout or the monkey.
Thank you very much. Great
Yes.
Michigan gave us Motown. Job. Doing a great job.
Great job.
Michigan
Fantastic
House
job.
Republican leader Matt.
Born.
Less than 4 years ago, we had the most secure, the best, the safest border by far
The best and safest border in the whole world to do the thingy boo.
in U.S. history. We ended catch and release. We built 571
Well, COVID.
miles of border wall. We
Slat fence. And also the access road that runs along the Mexican side that allows you to roll a roller bag to the entire length of the wall to private property or Indian land, whatever comes first, so you can just walk around it. Before you had to climb a hillside, and you didn't do it, but
were getting ready to add another 200 miles. We would have had it done in approximately 3 weeks. The wall.
yeah, 200 miles in 3 weeks. Totally would have happened. Why would you even, you don't even question it.
Wall was all built, all ready to be put up, and then we had a rigged election, but it was all ready to be put up. But we built more than I said we were going to build, and we had another 200 miles coming. Would have been great. Filled up some of the loops, and
Yeah, filled up some of the loops. Remember that? Remember, and that was one of his promises. Promises made, promises kept. It filled up some of the loops.
they decided they didn't want to put it up. That's when I realized they're
Well, they didn't want to fill the loops. Can you blame them?
open border fanatics, and that's the way
Fanatics?
it works out. And remember this.
Okay, I'm trying. I've forgotten what you said to remember earlier because I honestly don't give a fuck.
I said to Mexico,
you're going to pay for this. And they said, fuck you.
you got to give us 28,000 soldiers. They laughed
No, he didn't.
at me. They said, what do we do that for? And I like the president of Mexico very much. He's a socialist, but that's okay. He's a nice guy. I said, you got to give me 28,000 soldiers to protect the border because you're killing our border. You're sending all these people in the caravans.
Yeah, he's not. They weren't doing anything of the sort.
And he said, I can't do that. I said, you're going to do that. You have to do that. Anyway, I said, I'm putting a 100% tariff on everything that you send into the country from now on. They said, we would be pleased to give you 28,000 soldiers. And they did.
Also, no, he didn't, because that would end, that would kill every job in Michigan, especially the parts manufacturers, because a lot of those American cars are made in Mexico, and those cars wouldn't be able to come in. Yeah.
And we had the safest border in the history of our country, and now we have the worst border in the history of the world. There's
Well, yeah, it's because of the wall, obviously.
never been a border like it.
Yeah, you build the wall, and somehow it just made it easier for everybody to walk around it. It's super fucking
Crooked
weird.
Joe Biden, in his horrible way, it's just
Horrible, in his horrible way.
he's made our country a dumping ground. In Venezuela,
Venezuela.
violent crime is down 67%.
Bullshit.
Because they took their criminals and their gang members and
And they put them in
their
jail.
drug dealers,
And they put them in jail.
and they moved them into the United States of America.
And Mexico they just walked through Mexico and didn't commit a crime the entire time they were in Mexico, even though they speak Spanish.
And
It would be easier, I would think, to commit crimes in a country that, everybody speaks your language.
their crime is now down 67%. That's a beauty. And right here in Michigan,
That's a beauty.
your state is being torn up to pieces
Torn up to pieces.
with migrant crime. It's a new
Yes.
term,
Yes, inflation crime. It's crime. It's migrant
migrant
tax.
crime. 3 months ago, an illegal alien criminal was sentenced in Kent
Was sentenced
County for executing a 22-year-old Grand Rapids woman while she was in the car with her 1-year-old baby. shooting her at least 5 times, 4 times in the head with a rifle at point blank range, while the killer was, and he was wanted all over the world. He couldn't
all over the world. He couldn't go to Africa, couldn't go to China.
get in during the Trump administration.
He did, actually.
But like everybody else, he just walked in during the Biden administration, killed
name him.
this woman viciously and violently in Oakland
The woman he was in a relationship with.
County. Organized squads of illegal alien gang members, and they are taking over. The only thing good about them is they make our criminals look like nice people, okay? These are
What a weird fucking thing to say.
rough people. They're hiding.
I gotta say, that's super fucking odd. The only nice thing about them is that they make our criminals look like nice people. What a weird flex. What an America first criminal flex. You mean, and by the way, you mean you criminal fuck?
In the bushes, breaking into rural and suburban homes after dark, looting them.
Well, they're not gonna do it in the daylight.
Them for jewelry, purses, electronics, watches, cash. You know better than I do. That's in Oakland, but it's all over your state. It's all over almost every state. And
it is almost every straight. Yeah, that's true. All the gays are fine, but all over the straights are having a real rough time.
last week in St. Joseph's County, an illegal alien was charged with breaking into a Michigan home and sexually assaulting 2 young girls while threatening to kill them if they screamed or tried to escape. When I return to the White House, we will stop the plunder, rape, slaughter, and destruction of...
Real quick. So you don't have a problem with this when Americans do it, is the issue. You just think those guys are being railroaded.
the American suburbs, cities, and towns. We're going to stop it cold. We will immediately end...
You do realize this person was charged for this, right? You know, our judicial system doesn't happen until after someone commits a crime, right?
all sanctuary and deadly sanctuary cities.
By the way, how do you feel about asylum seekers, specifically women and children, who are sexually assaulted by Americans, for example? I'm sure there are cases of this. A lot of them don't get to speak up because they fear for their safety, or they're afraid they'll get kicked out of the country, so they have to keep quiet or whatever. Is that bothers you? I'm sure equally so. Yes?
I will shift massive portions of federal law enforcement to immigration enforcement, and we will impose a naval blockade on the cartels, because when we clean up the land, they come in by sea, and they have plenty of money to do it. We will put the cartels out of business.
First of all, we already have, that's what the Coast Guard does. What do you think? You think the Coast Guard's just letting boats through on purpose?
They will be out of business, and quickly.
Well, if they can be out of business and quickly and you're really good at it, why the fuck, by the way, sparse, why the fuck didn't you do that while you were president?
And on day one, we will begin the largest domestic
Oh yeah, the papers, please.
deportation operation in American history.
Right, so how will you know that everybody is legal or illegal? Obviously, you will walk up to every American or every person in America and go, papers, please? Is this how this works?
Right?
No, not right. Same shit, right.
Thank you. All you need to know about Joe Biden is that every 100 days he's adding 500,000 illegal immigrants and $1 trillion in debt. Remember this. They're coming in by the millions. I think the real number already in our country is 15 million. That means traffickers, usually mostly in women. That means drug dealers. But it means a lot of people. And these are people coming out of jails and prisons. They're coming out of mental institutions, insane asylums. These are not people we want. And they're
yeah, especially the women and the kids.
coming from all over the world. You know, they're not coming just from South America.
Yeah, don't think that they're just a light brown color, which is a little scary. These are some dark brown motherfuckers out there. I just want you to know that. I mean, be aware, people.
Last week 22 came out of prisons from the Congo in Africa.
Yeah, that's pretty brown. That's as brown as you get. That's if the Spanish speakers aren't making you nervous because you know some, don't be fooled, because clearly the people that are coming across, obviously.
Africa, we wish them well. From the Congo, they came out rough people. Where do you live? The Congo. Where are the Congo? We came out of prison in the Congo.
Yeah, that's what they say.
They've emptied their prisons from South America, from Africa, from all over the world, including even places in Europe. They've emptied from Asia. They've emptied.
Asia isn't in Europe, I'm just saying.
Their prisons into the United States of America. Prison population all over the world.
What are we, Australia?
Is down, and nobody knows why except for us. We know why. Because the prisons are being emptied into the United States.
All right, just fucking ridiculous.
And the mental institutions are being...
Well, at least the nice thing about them emptying mental institutions is that there will always be room for you, sir.
Emptied into the United States of...
Right, you can tell by his crowds.
America, like we're...
Obviously, there's lunatics everywhere. Look at these people. How they're dressed, how they smell.
Dumping ground, because we have a president who's a stupid person, or he hates our country.
One or the other, obviously, but not both.
Or he hates our country. And this is not sustainable by any... No country can sustain this. Nothing like this.
By any means.
This has ever happened, and no country can sustain this. Crooked Joe, with his insane border policies, will destroy Medicare and Social Security because they're going to go out of business. And you know that illegal...
You do realize that a lot of illegal workers use fake Social Security numbers. They pay Social Security, but they don't ever get it. They artificially shore it up. You know this. You hire people who are undocumented to work at Mar-a-Lago. You don't think they actually cash out their Social Security, do you?
Illegal aliens coming into our country under Biden are treated better than our vets. Our vets...
No, they're not.
Vets aren't treating as well.
They're not treating as well?
Being treated as well as illegal aliens who are occupying luxury hotels in cities. Can you believe it?
No, I don't.
What's going on? So hard.
What is going on?
Horrible. As
it's so horrible.
President, I will always protect Social Security and Medicare for...
Yeah, the same way you protected women's rights. Yeah, I totally.
For our great seniors, 100%, just as I have...
Yeah, 100%. He said 100% about something else, too. What was it? Mexico paying for the wall. That's right, 100%.
For 4 years.
Because you couldn't attack it?
And by the way, while we're on it, it was always the plan...
Pervitin?
From the great legal experts of this country and even the world, everybody, Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, they wanted to get abortion out of the federal government. You know.
No, they fucking well did not.
That they've been trying to do it for...
No, they have not.
50 years, then about...
By the way, this is, for the record, this is such blather, but there's a reason why he says this. This is because he wants to shift the blame away from himself. He wants everybody to think, I didn't want to do this. Everybody told me this is what I was supposed to do, and I fucking did it, and now it's biting me in the ass, and this is your fucking fault. That's all this is. I would like to clarify that every time he says this is what everybody wanted, the reason he's saying that is because it was his decision that made it happen, and he's trying to run on it, and he's fucked, and he knows it. So what he's trying to do is lay this off on everybody else. It's the same thing that happens when he brings up a candidate or somebody that he's, that he's supporting, and he's like very respected, and everybody likes this guy. He's saying that because later on he could go, everybody told me this guy was good. Everybody told me they liked this guy. He was a shoo-in. He was gonna win. It's not my fault he fucking lost. It wasn't because I backed him that he failed. It's because you fuckers lied to me about how popular he was. Same shit. This is the same fucking thing.
About 10 years ago, people lost their way, started talking about how many months they have, how many months are we allowed, how many weeks are we allowed, where does it take place, how does it take place, who are the doctors. They started getting into things that had nothing to do with the original discussion on Roe v. Wade. They
What?
got the idea to take abortion out of the federal government. That was the idea. And to move it into the states and let the states make the decision, let the people decide. After...
Okay, No, women do not, under the Constitution, women are equal to men. They don't have to wonder which rights they have in which fucking state.
For 50 years, we were able to do that, and now you're seeing it done. Some people will be happy.
Some people will die.
People will be okay. Some people won't be quite as happy.
Some people will die of septicemia and ectopic pregnancies. Some women will have their insides turned out.
Some will be thrilled. Some of the decisions, they vary quite a bit. Some are in conservative states, and they're more liberal than they would have liked to see them. Some are in liberal areas, and they're more conservative than they would have liked to have seen them.
Or we'd like women to have equal rights in every state in the Union because it's the United States of America, you dumb son of a bitch.
Some people are thrilled at the concept of exactly because everybody
At the concept of exactly.
basically wanted to get
Basically.
it out. It's wrong to be in the federal government. They wanted to get it out. The states now decide on abortion, and you go to the states, and the states come out, and they decide, which is what everybody...
Fuck me. What a ramble. He knows he's done. He knows this is a fucked issue. You can just tell. Listen to him, like, try to fucking weasel out of this. Fucking dick caught in the trunk lid. Just trying to, like, weasel his way around this decision that was the action he took.
wanted for over 50 years, and we
Bullshit.
got it done. This is different. Remember, from the standpoint of what's happening...
From the standpoint of what's happening. Great show. Right, Raj?
Nobody wants to see abortion in the 8th month or the 9th month, or nobody wants to see execution after birth.
Right. And no one does that.
You have a situation where Democrats, in many cases,
Nope.
will allow it, execution after birth.
No. No one's allowed to do that. That's illegal.
The 7th, 8th, 9th month, and after birth,
No.
execution.
Not execution. No, that's just fucking ridiculous. That's murder. You are a ridiculous human being. That's just awful. And by the way, the idea that doctors and women are slaughtering children right after they're born, and that states want to make that legal in any stretch, is absurd. I mean, it's grotesque. But it speaks to how he views women.
And if you remember, the governor of Virginia said it. He said,
And they go back to this all the time because this is a child. He's talking, by the way, the governor of Virginia was talking about children born without lungs, born with their heart, grown into their rib cage, born with no brain, like just horrible situation.
I sit, we talk with the mother along with the doctor. If she has the baby, we put the baby aside and we decide what to do with the baby, meaning, do we execute the baby?
No. Meaning, how many times do you try to resuscitate a child with no fucking ability to survive an hour, much less 2? And how much pain do you want to put this thing through as it's dying? God damn. And by the way, in many cases, in the fetuses they're talking about, they're not even capable of feeling pain. It's the mother watching this play out that's the one being tortured.
This is called radical politics.
It's not called radical politics. That would be called murder, and nobody wants it. What the ever-loving fuck?
This is something, they are far more radical.
You're a ridiculous human being. This is just bullshit.
But it's not even a question of that.
It is a question of that.
Question that we have to take care of the situation, getting it back.
It's a question of we have to take care of the situation.
To the states was something that was very important to everyone.
Everyone's. Not my fucking fault. You guys made me do this.
We had to take the radicalism out from the Democrats because when you can do execution or killing at a point in the life cycle, it just can't be allowed, or we're not going to allow it. But
well, I guess you are, because if a state passes a law, you're not going to stop them. It'd be for the record. According to this motherfucker, if a state wants to legally make it so that you can bash a kid's head on the rock right after it's born, he's like, that's up to the states. Never mind the fact that, he's for, Texas tracking the menstrual cycles of women and girls, especially rape victims, to see if they've actually had an abortion. Never mind that shit. He's totally for that. But according to him, if a state did want to pass something like that, where you could kill a baby after it was born, he's like, that's really up to the states. As president, I have no say in this.
Now states are deciding, and some people are very happy because it's a liberal policy, and it is. It's a liberal policy, or it's a very conservative policy, but we brought it back to those states where everybody's been fighting to have it for 50.
No, they haven't. Everybody has not been fighting to have this.
53 years, and it's taken a lot of courage and a lot of oomph and a lot
of oomph? You're not giving birth, you dumb motherfucker.
of controversy out. A lot of controversy has now been taken out. You've seen.
Yeah, there's no controversy now. I will say that. One thing about the abortion issue in this election cycle, very little controversy. Everybody's pissed at you, except for the hardline, right-wingers who think that when you get in, they have to trust that you'll sign the national abortion ban, as opposed to you just outright saying it.
What's taken place over the last period of a couple of months, people are getting together and they're deciding within their own states. And remember this, as a politician, you have to have heart. You have to have what your heart determines, and you have to fight for what's in your heart and what's the right thing to do.
Yes, fight for what's in your heart and what's the right thing to do.
But remember, you also have to get elected.
Yeah, you have to bullshit these people. We know. Look, I'm just telling you, I will vote to outlaw it permanently in all situations, even if it will kill the woman. But you got to trust me on this, and you can't press me on it. You just got to let me do what I'm going to do, and then I'll sign whatever the fuck you want me to sign when I'm in there, because I don't care. And if I need to have an abortion, I've got a plane. I can fly the bitch to Canada. Fuck her. That's her problem, right? So this is a poor people problem.
Getting elected is also important, not
Jesus Christ.
only on this issue, but on taxes and military and.
Yeah, you can't let this abortion bullshit keep me from getting reelected because I won't commit to signing a total ban.
Everything else, you have to get elected.
And you're not going to.
Because if you don't get elected, it goes back to the federal government, perhaps, or you have many other things that can go wrong.
Yes, many other things that can go wrong, like women surviving ectopic pregnancies, which obviously God does not want.
So go with your heart, do what's right.
But vote for me and just trust me that I'm lying when I say I'm not going to make this worse for women, because I totally fucking am.
Everybody wanted this to be done. Every legal scholar wanted
bullshit
this to be done.
And again, every legal scholar, you know he's not thinking of any women as legal scholars. You know that there's not he can't think of a single female legal scholar, even Amy Coney Barrett. Like, that's not entering his mind. When he says every legal scholar, he means a bunch of dudes.
Most Democrats wanted it.
Bullshit.
Liberals wanted it.
Nonsense.
This was a while ago. Then they changed their mind. They viewed it as a political deal.
A political deal. Yeah, it's not. Abortion's not a political deal. A woman should have the right, and that's that. Why is it political? Oh.
A lot of bad things will happen beyond the abortion issue if you don't win elections with your taxes and everything else. So,
how do you win elections with your taxes?
It's been very interesting, and again,
totally interesting.
And some states have been right where they wanted to be. Other states have gone more liberal than they wanted, and some have gone more conservative. But it's all working out, and the votes are coming up.
It's totally all working out, yeah. Unless you're a woman, obviously.
Now in certain cases, and it's all.
Honestly. Again, to our uncommitted friends, this is the future you are promising women. Congratulations. Enjoy.
starting to work out, and it's going to ultimately bring our country together.
What, at a funeral service for women?
It gets the vote down to the people.
It gets the vote down to the people. Is this a pro-woman state or a women they should stay in the kitchen state?
We did something that took courage. We did something that everybody wanted to see. But now I say it's up to the states, and I want to thank the Supreme Court justices for having the courage. Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, John Roberts, Brett Kavanaugh, Neil Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, for the wisdom and the courage to do this. This took a great deal of courage and a great deal of wisdom to do this.
No, it didn't. That's why they were put on there in the like almost singularly.
And all we want to do is we have to get our country back together. It takes a very long fought over issue, an issue
Fought over? You farted over it?
that was never going to be resolved, according to many. It brings it back to the states where every legal scholar and where most people wanted to see it.
No.
And it's working out. So
No, it's not. Maybe it's working out for him because he's paid for at least 3 abortions, and they're, I guess if he gets 2 more, he gets a free yogurt.
I want to thank the Supreme Court for the wisdom and for the courage, and thank you very much.
Right, blame them.
From the
First he wants credit for it, then he wants to lay it off on everybody else.
very first day that we take back the White House from crooked Joe Biden, I believe we're going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. I think we can do that. It's not easy.
Yeah, well, clearly, because you weren't able to do it during your presidency. We had riots and a fucking pandemic, and you blew it. Mr. Light Bulb up your ass, bleach in your veins.
Not easy with what they're giving us, I will tell you. But the one thing that has been interesting about this 4 years,
yes, what's interesting?
it shows how bad their policies are. It shows that their policies don't work. And one of the reasons we are more popular than we were 4 years ago, we were very popular, but more popular is because they're so bad. They're so incompetent. They're so evil. They're so corrupt. And it makes us look that much better. Before
except for that whole abortion thing, which you were just talking about, which is clearly a problem.
Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, shortly after we win the presidency, we win. All of us together are going to win. I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled. I know them both. I will get it settled.
Yeah, he'll just give the country to Russia. Settled.
We will demand that Europe pay much more for the costs of defense. We're paying the lion's share to Ukraine. And I keep
That's because we have 6 times the military of all the next 10 militaries combined.
saying, why isn't Europe paying more? The economy of Europe.
Also, if there's a war that breaks out, they need their shit to actually fight it in Europe. We're way over here.
If you add up all the various countries, is about the same size as the United States. They've got plenty of money. Why are we paying, and they're paying very little by comparison?
They're not. Their entire military would be engaged if there was a war between them and Russia. So they have to train their own people and all that kind of stuff specifically for that battle, and they are automatically committed. We're committed to make sure it doesn't break out, and so are they.
They have to equalize, and they have to equalize fast. It's not right. And
I would just leave that up to the states, really.
remember, it's more important to them. We have a thing called an ocean between us. Much more important to them. They have to come up with the money. That means somebody has to ask them. I did it with NATO. I said, you're not paying your fair share. They said, you're the only one that's ever said that. I was the only president. Bush would make a speech. Obama would make a speech. They'd all go and make speeches, and they'd leave, and that'd be it. I didn't make a speech. I said, what are you doing? I looked at the books. I said,
yeah, because you were trying to scuttle it.
We're paying 90%, maybe even 100% of NATO.
No, we're not.
So we're defending you militarily, and you're taking advantage of us on trade. How does that work? And I said, you have to pay. They ended up putting up more than $430 billion. $430 billion, because I asked. Now I asked the right way.
Uh-huh.
I remember during a meeting, one of the presidents of one of the European countries
Said, will you defend us if we don't pay up? And I said no, and tell him you can do whatever.
Stood up, and it was a closed-door meeting. He said, may I ask?
So you probably shouldn't be talking about what was in the meeting? Never mind.
Ask you a question, Mr. President. Yes. If we don't pay, we're not paid up, and we're attacked by Russia, will you defend us? I said, you mean you're delinquent? You haven't paid? That's right. No, I will not defend you. The next day, the money came pouring in. You got
gibberish. That is, I mean, just bullshit.
the money. I took a lot of heat from the fake news. They said, you shouldn't treat allies like that. I said, no, allies shouldn't treat us like that. They should pay their bills.
It's not a bill. It's a commitment of how much they're putting towards their own defense. And their entire military would be committed to a fight that happened in Europe because they're in Europe.
And it made NATO much stronger because of it. It made NATO rich and strong. And the head of NATO, the Secretary General, he said...
Yeah, that dude. What was his name again?
He said that Trump is amazing. He did something that nobody else has been able to do. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's totally what he
Incredible. Said. Now, I don't know if he'd say that today, but he certainly said it then. And I think he said it...
Yeah, but he said it in a closed-door meeting.
Recently, even again. And another...
No, he didn't.
Another thing that was very good is... a country, Hungary, very strong leader.
No, the only one still involved in China's Belt and Road Initiative, you mean, of all the European countries? After Italy dropped out, singularly only European country involved in China's Belt and Road because they need the investment?
Orban, they asked him, why is the world blowing up? What's wrong? This is a few weeks ago. Why is it so bad?
It was a few months ago now.
What do you
Again, he's just
recommend? Now, he's a strong man. He's a strong guy. He's a tough leader. He runs a country very well. He allowed no illegal immigrants in his country. He went against other European countries, which have, frankly, half destroyed themselves. And I said,
what about the other half? The other half looks good.
Asked him the question, what would you recommend? He said, I would recommend one thing. Get Donald Trump elected president again, and you're going to have no problems anywhere in the world. Get him.
Right, that's because Hungary gets funds from Russia, unlike any other European country as well, and is also aligned with China in a way that no other European country is. It's weird that the leader of that country, the country that with the strongest Russian and Chinese ties, is like, Trump needs to be president again. That's odd.
Elected president.
I hope he ends this soon. I know I'm going long, but good Lord.
That's true.
That's true.
Thank you. Thank you. No, it's true. I don't want to be the one to say it, but if I don't say it, nobody else will. That I can tell you. And he used a word I wouldn't use, but he used it. He said, China was afraid of him. I don't like to use the word afraid. Let's say they respected me. But he said, China was afraid of him. Russia was afraid of him. Look what I did to Russia.
Allowed them to continue attacking Ukraine the entire time you were president?
Nord Stream 2. Nobody ever heard of Nord Stream 2. Nobody in this audience. I'm the only one that knew what it was. It's the biggest pipeline in the world going to serve Europe. And I said, so we're defending them against Russia, and yet they're paying Russia billions of dollars a month for...
Nord Stream 2 hadn't opened yet. Nord Stream 1 was the one that was, they were still getting stuff through. And also there was oil and gas going through pipelines that went through Ukraine as well. The idea was that Nord Stream 2 was going to circumvent Ukraine ultimately, and that became apparent once they attacked.
Oil. How does that make sense? I ended it. I closed Nord Stream 2. Then they say that I was friendly to Russia. I wasn't friendly to Russia. I got along with Putin. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. But I closed Nord Stream 2, and Putin said to me,
the Germans closed it.
If you're friendly to me, I'd hate like hell to see if you weren't friendly. This is not good. He was not happy. But I closed...
Is that what the translator said?
...up the pipeline before...
Because nobody else was present at this meeting. It was just you and his translator, and there was no American translator and no one to take notes.
Before it got finished,
we know it. We'll just take your word.
Before it got built. When Biden came in, one of the first things he did is approve Nord Stream 2, the biggest pipeline in the world. And then they say, oh, Trump was very soft. They're full of misinformation and disinformation. That's all they're good at.
Also, game theory states that you give somebody an extra chance if you're using the tit for tat methodology of game theory, and I think that's how, as a reset, the Biden administration came in trying to do that. Like, hey, we'll let off some of the pressure if you can just act like fucking normal people again. That's why they removed the Houthis from the terror watch list, as you know, and it, stopped, undesignated them as a terrorist organization. And then when they acted up again, then they get back on the list, and that's that. But we gave you a chance, and that's the important thing.
That
Same
and
thing with
cheating
Russia.
on elections. That's all they're good at.
Well, they kicked your ass. I mean,
Biden's weakness has led the planet to the edge of nuclear war. I will bring the world
we're at the edge, or are we at the precipice, or the brink, or the tippy top?
glorious new peace, and I will make the following statement.
Okay, you will. You're not going to make it right now, but you will.
I am the only one that can say this, I believe. I know
Everybody can say it.
them all, and they respect me. They don't respect our country anymore. It's a country that's in decline.
Because of one president?
But they respect me, and we're going to
Really? So why would they? So they respect you, but fuck America? Weird.
have it back very soon. We're going to have a great country very soon. But I'll say this.
But not because of us as the American people, but because of you?
I will prevent World War III. I'm the only one that's going to do it. Biden.
Yeah, but I thought we were already in World War III.
You know, if I were president, if the election were an election that it should have been, you would have never had Russia attacking Ukraine. Even Democrats admit this. Would have
Bullshit.
never happened. Never did happen for 4 years. Not even a discussion.
There was constant fighting in the Donbass.
Russia wouldn't be attacking Ukraine.
And again, they would have just taken.
And on October 7th, Israel would have never been attacked by Iran. Iran was broke. When I was president, Iran was broke. I told China, if you buy 1 barrel of oil from Iran, you're not.
China? Fuck are you talking about? You let South Korea do it. That's why there was $6 billion in a South Korean account that the Biden administration was going to trade for hostages, and then ultimately they didn't have to. We got the hostages, and then they kept the money.
Not going to do any business in the United States. I said that to many countries, and they did very little. Check it out. They did.
Well, I checked it out.
Almost no business in selling oil, which is their life.
Almost.
Flood. And we would have had a deal within 1 week after the presidential election.
Yeah, then why didn't you?
We would have had a deal.
You were still president for almost 2 months.
And you know what the deal would have been? It would have been fine for them. But it would have had one thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Very simple. They cannot
Yeah, we had a deal about that, and then you scuttled it.
have a nuclear weapon.
And how do you enforce that?
And now they're 60 days from having a nuclear weapon.
Wait a minute. Hold on. 60 days ago, they were 45 days from having one.
Because these people have done nothing.
Well, apparently they've done something, because they keep punting this
I
number.
gave it to them on a silver platter. They were broke. They had no money. And I heard this from a
You gave what? You gave them a nuclear weapon on a silver platter?
Democrat congressman on Deface the Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, deface the nation. And
Yeah, I understand where you're going, but nobody's impressed by that. It's like unselect committee. It's just weak.
he said, I will admit that under Trump, Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money
What was this person's name?
for Hezbollah. They had no money for terror. And now they have $230
Well, they had money to buy shit from Betsy DeVos.
billion. They made it in 3.5 years. But we'll get something done. But it's a very precarious position. But I will prevent World War III.
Totally.
And we will have peace through strength. That's what we're going to have.
Totally. Yeah, peace through strength. Which is why the maggots in Congress voted against supporting both Israel and Taiwan and Ukraine. You know, peace through strength.
In my next term,
No.
we will build a great Iron Dome, very much like Israel has, but even better.
Well, it'll have to be bigger. That's for fucking sure.
I'm saying, why don't we have that? We should have.
Because we don't need it. We need a different version of it. That's arguably why. And I'll let you know why we would want anti-ballistic missile systems in Ukraine pointed at Russia. That's why.
Have that too. We have a lot of hostile people out there.
Yeah.
We have a lot of bad actors out there. We're going to build the greatest dome of them all. We're going to have it all made right here in America. Some of it's going to be made right here in Michigan.
No.
State-of-the-art missile defense shield that will be entirely built in America and will create jobs. And
I don't know if you heard Marjorie Taylor Greene. She doesn't think our economy should be based on military expansion, and this would be a huge military expansion. I just think it's a mistake.
we're going to have the greatest dome of them all. We're going to have greater. You saw how effective
Yeah, the super dome.
that was with Israel last
The mega dome.
week with 300 rockets shot. Every one of them knocked out. Every one of them knocked down. Probably if they didn't have it, they wouldn't even have Israel right now, if you think about it, right?
Why would I think about it? Also, you do realize that we shot down a large portion of those before they ever got to the Iron Dome.
Those would have hit various locations.
Yeah, that's it. They would have hit various locations.
Virtually none of them got through. Amazing. We're going to have a more sophisticated version. We have the technology. We have the genius. We're going to have a more.
We can rebuild him.
We're going to build a great Iron Dome. We're going to have a shield around our country, and it's made here, and it's going to be a great thing.
Yeah, I write that down and then wad it up and throw it away because this is just bullshit.
We're also going to rebuild our cities, and they're going to make them, we're going to make them beacons of hope and safety and beauty better than they have ever been before. Right now, they're crime-ridden. They're falling apart. They're run by Democrats. I'll work with the Democrats. We're going to rebuild our cities. You see what's happening with
You're going to rebuild them to better than before? So you don't you mean build them up?
your cities. You see Detroit. For 35 years, I've heard about this great comeback in Detroit, and we're
Right, and it certainly didn't happen while you were president.
still waiting. We're still waiting. It's taken a long time.
Yes, you were president during that time. You do realize
But
that,
we're
right?
going to make our cities great again. We're going to take over the
I'm getting bored with this bullshit. I'm seriously.
horribly run capital of our nation in Washington, D.C.
Oh my God, he's going to talk about fucking driving over paper.
Clean it up, renovate it, rebuild our capital city so that it will become the most beautiful capital in the world again. And we're going to get rid of the horrible, violent crime that's taking place there. You go there from Michigan and you end up getting stabbed or shot.
Well, not from Michigan. Obviously, those people are armed to the teeth, and they're used to getting stabbed. You could stab a Michigander, and you probably hit him right in a stab scar, and it's hard for the knife to even get through.
And people aren't even going. It's horrible. Graffiti
Yeah, they're not even
all
going.
over the place. We're going to take it back.
Yeah, you just have to assume he's telling you the truth.
We're going to make it
Also, I've been there, not the case.
beautiful. We're going to renovate it and build it, and we're going to make it much more beautiful than it ever was. It'll be the most beautiful capital city anywhere in the world, and we have an obligation to do it.
Why didn't you do it while you were president?
On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory,
All right, now he's just getting into his bullshit tail end.
gender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on
Okay, so they can't talk about your trials then, I guess.
to the
That's probably best, for the kids.
lives of our children. I will not give one penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or
All schools have vaccine mandates unless we want polio and measles and smallpox back.
a mask mandate. I will keep men out of women's sports day one. Day one.
Well, then you're never going to win an award. I'm just saying.
Signed up day one. How
You will never win a medal if that's the rule then. It's the only chance you have.
ridiculous is that? How crazy. That's like open border.
I'm kidding. He doesn't have a shit.
I mean, there are things that are so crazy.
Yes, like you.
Like, who the hell wants an open border where countries from all over the world are infiltrated and
No one. I'm just saying. Like, that's not a thing.
violating our country?
Who
It's
wants
the same,
people coming in from foreign countries?
same with men playing in women's sports. I mean, take a look at what's happening.
Okay, I took a look at what's happening. It's not of
Take a look. It's so disrespectful to women, but take a look at what's happening
Yes, and respect for women is your hallmark, I think.
to records that have stood for 18 years
Oh, fuck, we're gonna go into the bing dong
of being shattered by numbers that nobody's ever even thought of before. I will.
Yeah, like 2. Ugh, I don't even like to think about the numbers that, you know.
PP2
Yeah, it's just numbers you don't even like to think about.
fully uphold
7.3. Ugh.
the always under siege Second Amendment guns. I will always uphold.
Woohoo.
We will protect innocent life, and we will restore free speech, and we need free.
There was literally a school shooting today in Michigan. The person was killed before they were neutralized before they entered the property. So we don't know if they were shot or they shot themselves or they did themselves in on the grounds of the school. Nobody's talking yet, but just so you know.
Speech in this country.
The tyranny of your neighbor seems to be, of less concern.
And
also, you're not allowed to bring a gun to any of these rallies. Don't.
I will do something that nobody else has a passion for like I do.
Sexually assaulting women.
I will secure our elections and make them real, beautiful, safe elections.
Real, beautiful, safe elections.
And our goal will be one-day voting with paper ballots, proof of citizenship, and voter ID. Very simple.
Is that a blue man walking by in the background? Where's that guy?
Voter ID.
Why is there a guy walking backwards?
But until then, Republicans must win. We have to win.
Yeah, you're not going to.
We have to win.
Yeah, you're not going to.
That's why I say, use your heart. Go back to the abortion question. We have
Shouldn't have brought it up again. Shut the fuck up. I mean, I don't want to help you, but you're a dope.
to win, but we have to go out. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very bad period for this country. We have to.
Great. And you know what? I think it's how articulate he is that really impressed me.
Here I am like an idiot. To win those elections, we want, in the case of our election, our presidential election.
That one? Yeah, sure. What about it?
We want a landslide that's too big to rig.
This is the phrase that they're using. You're gonna have to
slab it.
Too big to rig. We got to make it so big. Because one thing we know, at a certain level, they can't cheat. They can cheat, but it won't matter. So we think we're going to have them stopped, but that's what they do best. We want to make our win too big to rig. If you took the 10 worst presidents in the
same shit again.
history of the United States
would not do the
and
damage
added them up, they would not have done near the destruction to our country as crooked Joe Biden.
Is that Bernie?
Biden
No, that's a pilot.
The Biden
You can tell by his collar.
administration has done. And I used to
Or his cuffs, right?
say, and you know that because a year ago, if you heard me at a rally, and the rallies are bigger and better and stronger than ever before.
No, they're really, really not. I mean, you do remember you just asked them to show us.
The whole thing is ready for a big victory on November 5th.
No.
But if you heard me, I used to say if you took the 5 worst presidents, now I say.
Yeah, we know you double everything because it's not working anymore. It's kind of like Pervitin. You used to be able to just chew one, and now you're doing the whole fucking tube.
That's not enough. Now I say 10 worst. I have a
Can't name 10 presidents.
feeling by the next time we meet, it'll be the 15 and maybe the 20 worst. He's so bad. He's the worst president ever. It's
Terrible. Just awful. Awful, awful. Now, granted, not nearly as many people have died under his watch, and we haven't had giant national riots across the entire country, just for the record, but I'm just saying.
pathetic. And you know what? As a country, we're laughed at all over the world.
No, every time he picks up the phone to call a world leader, they laugh and hang up on him. That's why he thinks this.
All over the world, we're laughed at.
All over the world, everybody. All right.
Flies to Saudi
Sorry, the Xanadu soundtrack lives in my head rent-free.
Arabia to meet the king. He's in the plane for 24 hours. He stumbles out of the plane. He meets the king finally, and instead of shaking his hand, he gives him a fist pump In other words, don't touch me. I don't want to touch your hand.
Don't touch my hands because they're dirty.
This is the same story. This is so weird.
This is what we got negotiating for us.
Why is that? What the fuck? He murdered Khashoggi. That's the issue.
He can't negotiate. He can't do anything right.
Negotiate what?
And everything
What are we negotiating with the Saudis? Fuck off how quickly?
he touches turns out bad, and we just don't want it. We want to make our country great again. We're tired of watching this clown
Yeah, I can read the hat. I just don't buy it.
show. So if you want to save America, get every common sense person you know, you go register and vote Republican. You got to vote for us. You got to vote for Mike and everybody else on the ticket. But we're going to turn it around fast, Mike, right? We're going to turn it around fast, and he's going to be a great help. I'm so happy that he's running, frankly.
Why? Because he's more popular than you, even though he's unpopular and he's going to
I'm
lose?
so happy.
Yeah, you seem happy. You look happy.
So in conclusion,
Thank God.
together, we are taking on some of the most menacing forces and vicious opponents
Medicine?
our people have ever seen. We've never seen anything like it.
No. You should use that phrase more often. Never seen anything like it. I think it'll catch on.
But no matter how hateful and corrupt the communists and criminals we're fighting against may be,
Communist criminals? I mean, can you really steal if you don't believe in personal property?
you must never forget this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. It belongs to you.
I mean, it kind of belongs to all Americans, right? Isn't that kind of the point? I don't understand this sales pitch. I mean, they are Americans, whether you agree with them or not. I mean, it belongs to everybody. This land is your land. This land is our land.
This is your home. This is your heritage. And our American liberty is your God-given right. This is your God-given right.
What is? To be in a field at a private airport somewhere in Michigan?
From Marquette to Midland, from Frankfort to Flint, and from Detroit to Saginaw, we stand on the shoulders of red-blooded Michigan patriots
Right, because you wouldn't lift them up. You'd expect them to lift you up.
who laid out the railroads, worked the factories, tilled the fields, forged
Oh, so when Obama was saying you didn't build that, you agree.
the seals, fought the battles, and won the victories that made America into the greatest and most powerful nation anywhere in the world. We love
I thought we were a failing nation.
our nation. But now,
Really? You love it? Even because it sounds pretty terrible the way you've been talking about it. I don't know what to tell you.
we are a nation in decline. We
Yeah. Are they going to start playing the
are
background
a
music?
failing nation. We are a nation that has lost its confidence, its willpower.
I don't think so. I feel pretty confident, and my willpower is pretty rock solid. I mean, I've not, I mean, I don't have to try and stay away from sweets. I will say the carnivore diet, for all of its quirks, does eliminate the old sweet tooth. Kind of goes away naturally. It doesn't require any extra willpower to not eat shit, because you just don't. You got enough fat in your diet. You don't really need it. It's that fat free stuff, man. It'll get you every time. And of course, if you're eating fish delights all the time, you're gonna look like a fucking scrotum in a red hat.
And it's lost its strength. We are a nation that
No, not really. If we lost our strength, why would Ukraine be waiting for our munitions?
has lost its way, but we are not going to allow this horror. It's an
Horror.
absolute horror
I swallowed a bug.
to continue any
It's absolute horror.
longer. 3 years ago, we were a great nation.
And now we're a bunch of horrible gobbledygook, scrimpity doop doop.
And we will soon be a great nation again. It was hard.
Wednesday good for everybody. Can we be a great nation next Wednesday, starting next Wednesday? I think it's good. I think it's a good date. Let me know if that works for everybody.
Hardworking patriots like you, the people of Michigan, who built this country, and it's hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. Our country must be saved.
Yes, it must be saved for later. wrapped in tinfoil, preferably, and eaten within 7 days, because otherwise it'll get all moldy, and that's just not good.
Our country is in very
Big is in big trouble. Our country is in the big trouble. It's in big trouble. It's in big. Okay.
Our country must be saved. Our country is in very dangerous.
Big, very dangerous trouble for to have.
Trouble.
Where are you from, Johnny? The Upper West Side? He is Vigo. You are like the buzzing of flies to him. No pictures, please. Slides are available in the gift shop. Ah! It's my favorite moment of all of them. Peter McNicholson just is so good.
Our country has never been in a position like this. We're left
Would it be this position?
at all over the world. We're
Well, you are.
not respected by anybody.
Well, you aren't.
Our economy is going to hell.
Well, yours is.
Inflation is eating everybody alive.
Well, it's just things are more expensive when your money's been eaten up in court.
Everything is wrong with our country. There's
No, that's your reflection. You're referring.
nothing that's going right.
There's nothing. Everything is going wrong. The stock market should be going down. Unemployment should be going up. Wages should be going down. This is terrible for rich people.
We will fight for America like no one has ever fought before.
By fighting for Russia, you mean? Some people have tried that. It just doesn't work.
2024 is our final battle.
That's true. You're done after this one. I'm happy to say.
With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government.
I would go with expel the evildoers. And then lay waste to the warmongers. Wash away the warmongers. Wipe out the warmongers. No, that sounds too violent. Wipe away the warmongers. We'll workshop it. Workshop the warmongers? No, that won't work.
We will drive out the globalists. We will
drive out the dickheads.
We'll cast out the communists.
Cast out the communists. That one works.
Marxist and
make the Marxists move away to Maryland.
Fascists. We will throw.
Fuck off the fascists. Get the fascists to fuck off. Fight the fight. Fist the fascists? No, that sounds
off
crazy.
the sick political class that hates
suck off the sick political class. What are you talking
our
about?
country.
I'm not rewinding to hear that again. I don't need
We
that.
will rout out the fake news media. We will drain the swamp, and we will
Why didn't you do that last time?
liberate our country from these tyrants and villains once and for all. We will liberate our country.
Yeah, liberty finally coming to America after all these years.
Like those patriots before us.
You're nothing like other patriots that have come before. I'm just saying. You mean the ones that went to war and defended the country? Mr. fucking Bone Spurs?
We will not bend. We will not break.
You've bent a lot and you broke. You're broke now.
We will not yield. We will never give in. We will
Yes, we will always cut people off in traffic.
never give up. We will never, ever, ever back down. We will never back down.
But will you back down, though? I would say it again. Yeah. Also, I would just say, for the record, don't bring up Won't Back Down, because it reminds people of Laura's terrible cover of the Tom Petty song, and it makes everyone very angry.
With your support, we will go on to victory, the likes of which no one has ever seen before.
Yes, a victory commonly referred to as a massive loss.
We will evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House, and we will take back our country on November 5th, 2024.
Nope.
The great silent majority is rising like never before.
Why have they been silent this whole time? Weren't you president once before?
And under our leadership, the forgotten man and woman will be forgotten no longer. And
You mean like Jeffrey Epstein?
it wasn't forgotten. Man and woman 4 years ago was not forgotten.
Who specifically are we talking about? It was not. It was not. It. Say that again, real quick.
Party is rising like never before, and under our leadership, the forgotten man and woman will be forgotten no longer. And
Okay, just leave it there and move on. But you had to go back for another bite at it. So what?
it wasn't forgotten. Man and woman 4 years ago was not forgotten.
It wasn't?
They were somebody. They were proud. They loved our country.
And now they hate our country and they're nobodies? What a look, you got a is that what you're saying? There's a whole group of nobodies in front of your in front of you right now that hate America? The fuck kind of crowds are you drawing, asshole?
We are one movement, one people, one family, and
From a full diaper?
one glorious nation under God. And together we will make America powerful again.
Asshole.
We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. Purge the anti-Semitism and pro-terrorism. What you're doing. And we will make. Heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your. America.
Asshole.
Great.
Asshole.
Again. Thank you, Michigan. Thank you. God bless you all. God bless you.
And then they got to go, well, hold on, I'm coming. And he's going to play the song off and walk around. This. We'll see if if he hangs out. Oh, they cut it off? Hold on. Okay. Clap, 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 clap. Okay, take a boink. Clap, 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 clap. Hey, boink. Just thumb up your ass. Thank you. Jerk off right on my chin. Thank you. Clap, 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 clap. You guys, hey, thank you. Look at this. I feel like I should stage dive right now. Durable jerk off. Just mental floss. Yeah, thank you. There's my hat. Hey, see, look at that. You can see my bald spot. Excellent. You gotta put that back on. Thank you, everybody. Point. There you go. Nice tits. Squirt, 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 squirt. Can't move my legs, so what in the world? Point. Thank you, everybody. Okay, done with this shit. Okay, where are the stairs again? Squirt, 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 right on my nose. Thank you. Jerking you off right on my nose. Thank you. You get to jerk off right on my tie, right there, just in my ear. You get to, okay, where are we? Okay, all right, one more second. Clap, clap, clap. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Okay, stub up your ass as well. Okay. Okay, clap, clap. Thanks. Same move. Okay, there we go. Thanks. Okay, bye. Squirt, point, squirt. Thank you. Okay, enough jerk offs. Where was I? Where's the airport? Where's the airplane? I'll dance here for the. Just squirt off right in my hair. There you go. Just jerk off right. Hey, you. Push your belly button. Hey, squirt, squirt. Thanks very much. Just jerk off right on top of my head. Okay, where the fuck am I going? Wait a minute. Oh, God. There we go. And we walk over here. See you later, everybody. Getting right on my plane and getting the rat fuck out of here. I would stay and have some sort of fake gathering with locals, but I gotta get on a plane and see you later. Okay, yeah, there's no meet and greet. Just getting the fuck out of here. Okay, I'm done. That's it. Take me back so I can go golfing. I got court in the morning. Okay, don't fall down, don't fall down, don't fall down. You can't fall down. It's windy. Don't fall down. Don't fall down. Whatever you do, don't fall down. Don't fall down. Don't fall down. Hold on desperately. Don't do it. You almost get a little wavy there. People can see your diaper. Okay, keep going. You're fine. You made it up to the top. Hold on tight. Okay, there you go. Clap, 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 clap. This is scary and high. Squirt right on top of my head. There you go. Highest hand job in the world. That's my record. I hold the record. Call Guinness. I just jerked off more people than anybody. And thank you. Pilots, don't applaud me. Just don't crash the plane, okay? Let's get the stairs off my fucking plane. Get me the shit out of here. tomorrow, he's got court. Somebody was asking, where's he going to be tomorrow? He's got court tomorrow, and he's got court on Friday, I think. So, yep, man, there's a couple of people getting on the plane with him, but they're not waiting long. Look at this. These people are fucking booking it up there. They're going to get on the plane and leave. Nobody, they're not hanging around at all. But here come the, his Corey Feldman angels that he always has with him. Right? He's always got some, I mean, basically, Donald Trump is the Corey Feldman of politics. I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know about Corey Feldman's, angel period, which is super fucking embarrassing. That's exactly it. And so he had to get the fuck out of there before, and by the way, this is short. If you'll recall, in the past, when I've done his speeches, because I stop every sentence or so, it can take me 4-5 hours to do them. This was not that long. This is, let's see, he was at, he comes in, there we go, 1:18:12 all the way to this, so it was an hour and 20 minutes. This is a short speech for him. Yeah, he packed that shit in and got out of there. Yeah. That is not a long speech on Trump terms. You guys know, it'll take me 5-6 hours to do when he was doing 2 hours. Yeah, he's buttoning this shit down. Yeah, no. And yeah, he didn't play mirrors that fucking whatever whatever. Where is it? Let's see if I can. Yeah. Let's see. Where was... Yeah, Will Vanderkramert was the guy who wrote the song. He's not happy with the use of his song, and he's pissed that it was used by the QAnon assholes. Yeah. Let's see, where's the former... Yeah. There it is. Will Vanderkramert. Here, I'll control copy, and then we'll go back to this one, and there we go. That's this song. And we stare at an America that is an absolute butthole of the entire earth. America is now a shithole country. And if you don't believe me, you should, because I'm a man who shits his pants. Shitting your pants is something that every great leader does. I'm the greatest leader of a shithole country that has ever shitholey country. Just say it. That's the music. That's the actual music that he plays. It's a song called "Mirrors" by Will Vanderkramert, and here I'll show you. This is the music. There you go. "Mirrors" by Will Vanderkramert. This is the music that they play under Trump, and they just play it on a fucking loop. We will make America a shithole again. We will return to a pandemic footing and always believe that the world is full of disease. We will have the greatest border ever given to us by an infectious contagion ever. We will make asthma great again. We will bring back the white plague, and I don't mean Vanilla Ice and Snow the Rapper Who. we all love very much, but also we don't know the words to inform her. All we know is informer, and no spotty biddly boddly bing bong. Say the boom boom, yeah. I know the boom boom part, but I don't know the rest of it. It's so sad. Sad day for all of us. We want to be really clear that if you don't vote for me in the next election, America is donezo, deadzo, gonzo, badzo, zero, no go, no good, infama, and no spotty biddly boddly bing bong. Say the boom boom, gonzo. Absolutely, gonzo, over and done. China will take us over, and there will be Chinese restaurants in every city in America, and tacos available at almost every corner, and you won't be able to find Wonder Bread or mayonnaise anywhere. It's gonna be terrible. No one will be able to buy pimento loaf by the metric ton in America. This is Joe Biden's America. This is what Joe Biden is doing to America. Remind everyone, we are a nation that is failing and decline, so we're not doing very well at declining. We're going up in a decline that we should be going down in, but we're in decline at going in a decline. So we are going up, but in a bad way. Things are getting better while they get worse. The end. End scene. So they play that shit on a loop behind him. I'm just saying. There we go. Hashtag Rip America. Right. I think I'm gonna have to bring that music with me on the Sexy Liberal tour. I think that's gonna have to be a thing. Watch out for that in Madison. Just saying. But yeah, that's the music that he plays. Just so you know. Anyways, love you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Remember, Thursday show is at 4 o'clock instead of 3 o'clock. That's a family FaceTime, and family first, as we always say around here. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else, and whatever you do, stay away from the kidney.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
What?